Hi, I'm J. Michael Kelly. You're watching H1 Unlimited on YouTube.
H1 Unlimited Hydroplanes.
The world's fastest race boats.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow, it's really flying the boat. It doesn't get any better than that. They are going to be side by side. This is for the checkered flag. Good morning, race fans, and welcome to Seattle, Washington and the 2026 Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair. My name is Brad Luce. I am with H1. I will be joined later on in the day by Dustin Eccles and Danny Rogers, as we should be going boat racing here today, and we also have some qualifying to do. But right now, as you can see on our monitor, the weather is not the best that we've had. Certainly yesterday we had a picture-perfect Chamber of Commerce day, but that was all supposed to change overnight. It indeed did. We have awakened to a pretty stiff breeze coming out of the south and coming up the race course, and we've got overcast skies and the threat of rain today. But that's really not what is holding us up right now. As you're watching on the monitor there, you can see a patrol boat out there, and they are working to replace the exit buoy off of turn 2 up at the top end of the race course. When they get that buoy in place, there is another one that made a run for it and got away from us that is being replaced at the south end of the race course. And we are told that once those buoys get put back in place, we will go qualifying. That was first up on our schedule this morning. It was supposed to come at 8:45 this morning. It's now just a little after 9 o'clock. And as soon as we can get some buoys in place, that is the plan, to go back to our qualifying ladder, and everybody will have another opportunity to run their second qualification run. That was the plan all along. We ran the first qualifying session yesterday. Everybody got on the ladder with the exception of the U12, Graham Trucking and Jeff Bernard. They will have an opportunity, and in fact, they will have two opportunities to do that today. They will get an opportunity to make their first and second run, because they were ready to go, my understanding is, at the end of our qualifying session yesterday, but we simply ran out of time. So that's where we are right now. We're not in a hold per se with regards to weather. We are in a hold with regards to getting our course set with our buoys, and once that is done, our understanding, speaking with the chief referee and his staff that are one floor above us, that is still the plan. We've got boats in the water. We've got boats hanging over the water in the pit area. So the boats are ready to go. We're ready to go. We just need to get the course set, and we will have boats on the water. We're coming to you today from the Bill Myers Memorial Broadcast Studios on the start-finish line of the tower at the Seattle Seafair. It is a historic location, one that has been used for many years, as this is the 76th Seattle Seafair celebration. Boat racing began on this body of water in 1951. The tradition will continue again today in 2026. So I wanted to come on, we, H1 Unlimited, wanted to come on and give you an update where we are. The moment this course opens and we get boats on the water, we will come back live and cover it all for you. The plan is to go qualifying. Boats are in the water and hanging over the water. So we're ready to go. As soon as we get a course set, we'll have boats on Lake Washington. Until then, Brad Luce from the start-finish line tower for H1 Unlimited. You are watching H1 Unlimited's coverage of the 2026 Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair. We'll put a boat on the water, and we will be right back. Don't go away.
Meg, you're here with Behind the Badge, and this is such a special partnership with H1 Unlimited. Can you tell me what your biggest goal is being here today?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for asking. Our biggest goal here is we bring families of fallen officers in Washington State to come out and enjoy the races, but with a special piece of honoring their loved one by having their loved one's name on the back of an unlimited boat. I will say that some of the things that we've heard from these families is that they feel like their officers come alive again when they see them race across the boat, and that is success. That's a success for us.
What have you seen of the interactions between the families when they get to meet these boat drivers?
They're hesitant at first and shy. They don't really know what to expect. They've never been down into the pits. Maybe they haven't been to Seafair or Tri-Seas in a very long time. And so they come down a little bit reticent, and then they have these conversations. The drivers and the teams are so welcoming and so kind, and it's almost instant friendships that we see between these families and these drivers. And there's a real genuine warmth from the drivers and the teams that welcome them down there. They get to talk about their officer and their loved one, which is really, really special for them. And from what I've been hearing from families here today especially, is they feel like they're asking out of genuine care. They really want to learn about it, and that means everything to these families who get to talk about their officer again.
You told me that Behind the Badge had been partnering with Daryl Strong and Strong Racing for 3 decades. You've been partnering with H1 Unlimited for the last 3 years. How much more sense did it make to just bring all the boats together and involved in this?
Oh gosh, so I wasn't involved in those first couple of decades of this, but when we brought every boat on board and was able to, so we drop a family off at a boat with a driver and a team, being able to have them all together has just made it feel like a complete package, right? We're not leaving anybody out. Everybody gets a different, unique, personalized experience.
Fantastic. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Daryl, Behind the Badge is such a special initiative and partnership for you and H1 Unlimited. How did you get started in bringing them on board?
You know, actually it's something that Steve Lamson started in the 90s, and we just revived it. I had some friends where he was a State Patrol officer and his son was a State Patrol officer, and he was killed by a drunk driver when he was doing a stop on the side of the highway. And that got our attention. We had Christopher on our boat in 2023, I think, here, and we won the race. And so that was fun for us, but what a great cause. You know, really, they're great people.
How rewarding is it to now see names across all of the boats and that you helped revive that?
It's great because it was just on our boat, you know, and then I mean, everybody wants to do it. So when we talk to the other owners, you know, they love doing it. And it's like what we just did. We took the people, the family down to our boat. They talked to the people. We bring the drivers in. They talk. They kind of go through the boat. We take pictures, you know, and so it's just a fun time. And we spend about a half an hour down there with them.
What are the interactions like up here? What do you have planned for the families who do come to support their fallen officers?
Up here, I think from 10 to about 4, we had breakfast and lunch. We did a program. Pastor Jim came up and did a little talk, and we had a trumpet player come and play Amazing Grace. Steve Lamson set that up. And, you know, it's really moving, you know. I get up there and I blubber all over everything, you know, because what I hear the family say, it always emotional for me, but you go, it's like our family member is flying with the boat. And you think, whoa. I've heard that from at least 5 families who have said that.
That's fantastic. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, race fans, and welcome back to Seattle, Washington, Lake Washington, and the 2026 Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair. I'm Brad Luce, along with Dustin Eccles. Got a special guest over here. We'll get to him later. But what we wanted to do was come down in the pit area because, as we spoke a little bit earlier, the conditions right now are a little bit dicey. We've still got an exit pin up on turn 2 that they're trying to place. It is not yet in place. As you can see, we were telling you earlier that our boats are ready to go, and you can certainly see that behind us. We've got 3 boats in the water ready to go, and we did grab Kelly Stocklin. First of all, how are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. It's a good day.
Are you glad to be here?
Oh, absolutely. This is where it should be.
This is where you should be, that's for darn sure. You got the boat in the water, you're ready to go. Talk about what we want to do this morning.
Well, we're going to take some timing runs this morning. Situation's a little bit different than it was yesterday. We're putting on the propeller that we plan to race the final heat with, so we do need to get some timing marks. And if we can bump our speed just a mile or two, that would be great too.
And you got a new driver this year. This guy's gone. You got this new one in here, Dylan Runne. Talk a little bit about him on the boat. You told me right out of the box at the test session he loves the boat. He still like it and getting to know it better?
Yes, he's very impressed with the boat. We do the best we can every time. We gave Dustin the best ride we could, and we're giving Dylan the best ride we can, and he's very appreciative of it, and he brings us back information. We make it faster and faster every time.
How about these conditions? A little dicey?
Well, yeah, but that's okay. You know, everybody's got a race in it. Everybody. So it's the way it'll work.
Welcome to Lake Washington, right?
Yeah. Normally it's about 4 o'clock when it's windy around here. So.
But we got it in the morning, so I'll let you get down to your team and your boat, but we hope to see you on the water soon, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
All right. Kelly Stocklin, along with wife Sharon, owners of the Bucket List Racing. So I've got Dustin Eccles here. Danny's hiding on the other side of the camera over here, but we're going to get her in. We want to just walk through the pit area, and Dustin, grab some drivers or crew chiefs or friends or vendors, or let's this is called filling time. Let's go do it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the hardest time for a driver, is just the standing around part. So maybe us going around, asking them some questions and getting their mind off of it, maybe that'll help. We'll see.
That's what we're going to do, so stick with us. Let's go for a walk. You lead, Dustin. We'll follow you. We're right behind the U11 FLAV-R-PAC here. They were in the water this morning and have since pulled the boat out of the water. And they're just waiting here, ready to go like everybody else. The slings, as you can see, are up and on it. So this is the hurry up and wait part of unlimited hydroplane racing. Mr. Hop, sir, how are you? Very good. Yeah, so here we are. For those of you that have not been in the Stan Sayers Memorial Pit area, here's the layout. You've got the boats all backed up toward the water. Then they have the cold pit area where the fans can walk. This was new a number of years ago, about 10 or 15 years ago. They used to have all of the trucks in front of the boats. Well, the fans that came through here couldn't see the boats. Well, that wasn't good, so becoming more fan-friendly, all the trucks are now over there so the fans can walk through and actually see the boats. So, look who we found here. Mr. Nilsen, how are you?
Good morning. How are we doing?
Well, we're doing good. This is called filling time. So you're a filler now, my friend. You had the boat in the water, right?
Yeah, we had it in the water ready to go. So, when they give us the green flag, we'll be ready to go out there, test some things out, try to better prepare the Miss FLAV-R-PAC for the conditions that I think are going to be different than what we saw yesterday. But
that's for darn sure. Will you actually go out with an intention to try and improve your qualifying speed, or just test and race setups?
I think there's some variables that are going to determine that. So, there's 4 guys, 3 of which we out-qualified yesterday that are going to go run before us. So we're anxious to see what they do, what kind of times they put down, and I think that'll determine whether, we need to go improve or not. So,
because that determines who you run against.
Yeah, this race format has introduced a lot of different variables into things. So there's some different strategies out there that I think we're all still learning. So trying to learn what works best in this race format, and we're going to go with whatever gives the Miss FLAV-R-PAC the best chance tomorrow afternoon.
You guys ran so well in the Tri-Cities. Last weekend was so good. My question I was asking of people like Dustin and so forth, but I didn't get a chance to ask you or your team, what did that do to the morale of this race team? It had to be a big boost.
Yeah, it's definitely very exciting. So this team puts so much time and effort and resources into making the Miss FLAV-R-PAC better, and it's just very gratifying, I think, for the team as a whole to see all their hard work pay off. So definitely was a good week. Spirits were high. We didn't have anything to fix, so the crew could work on just fine-tuning things a little bit more, trying to make the Miss FLAV-R-PAC as fast as possible for this weekend. And I think they succeeded. I got a great boat under me and excited for heat racing to start and show what it can really do.
And that's all you've ever wanted. Just give me a faster boat.
Yeah, I don't think there's a driver up and down this beach that wouldn't say the same thing. But
what if there is? They're probably in the wrong profession.
Yeah, for sure. So.
Jamie Nilsen, good luck. Congratulations on a great weekend last weekend. That's last weekend. Good luck looking forward.
Hey, thank you very much.
Jamie Nilsen, driver of the U11, the Miss FLAV-R-PAC. Good luck, bud. All right, let's keep walking. Let's. Where'd our fearless leaders go? Here they go over here. Let's. Dustin, where are we going? We're gonna give you them. Oh, here's one over here. He might not want to talk to me. I owe this guy an apology anyway, so we better do. Mr. Runne, sir, how are you?
Yeah, we're doing all right here on this fine morning.
And I want you to know I do have your name straight this weekend. I'm sure you are aware of. I tried to give your heat victory away.
Listen, not a bad guy to get mistaken with, so I'll take it.
I honestly didn't know I had said it until I turned to Dustin. He goes, Brad, I'd love to take credit for that win, but we were just talking to Kelly about the boat. How are you and the boat getting along? You getting to know it better and all that good stuff?
Yeah, we're getting there. Every heat is learning something new. New guys on the team. Boat's been away for a little while. I haven't been in the seat for a while, so we're just trying to get more and more consistent, feel the boat out, see what we need to adjust, and it's just the little things right now that are plaguing us a bit, but we're making progress, so we're happy.
You like the smaller course? The boat like it?
I personally do like smaller course. I think it's fun out there. I think it's a little bit more of a driver's course, so that's exciting. Had some issues a little bit early yesterday. We're working through those. I think the boat's going to be in a better place today for it.
Good. So you're ready to go this morning. The boat's been sitting in the water for a while.
I've been ready, dressed, in and out of the truck a couple different times here, so when they say green, I'll be ready to go.
So will you guys go out and put the hammer down to try and increase your qualifying speed? It is a qualifying session.
Yeah, I think our goal is to go see what we can do out there and keep trying to put hot laps in and see what the boat does. You don't really pick up a lot of handling issues at slower speeds, so we need to go put some decent laps down and see what the boat does. So that's our goal. We'll see how it goes. A little different conditions out there today. Not sure if we'll be able to put a real fast one in there, but I think if we deal with some of the handling issues and keep getting better, ready for the heat races, that'll be a win for us.
Very, very good. He is Dylan Runne. I'm going to keep it right this weekend. He drives that bright U40 bucket list racing. Good luck this weekend, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There you go. Dylan Runne, U40 bucket list. Now we're being waved this way.
I think we're going to go drop in one of the trucks here and see if we can catch some guys sleeping here.
That would be good. Danny's got us on a mission here. Let's go see what we find. Now, Dustin, if we get into something like this, I may have to give you the microphone. So we're now getting out toward the end of Stan Sayers Memorial Pits. I was talking yesterday about how this used to be called Quillshaft Lagoon. It's all good. And we are now headed over to the Strong Racing truck. We'll see what's going on here and what kind of trouble Danny can get us into. Anybody up for a visit? All right, here we go. We're going inside the Strong truck, finding Mr. Bernard. How are you? Fancy finding you here.
Just watching HRO race, waiting.
Yeah, we were watching a little bit of that up on the start-finish line tower. So you're all ready to go, I understand.
Yeah, we're ready. We've been ready. We were already in the boat for like 10 minutes, and then they pulled us out, and now they're pulling the boat out of the water, so.
And this will be the qualifying attempt for you when you go out. I understand they're going to run the ladder, at least what I was told. They're going to run the ladder in the same order that they did yesterday, so you'll be number 2. Is that correct?
That
what you're hearing?
That's what I'm hearing. We'll be number 2 and then last. We get to make up because of the way the time worked out. The past wasn't like a typical pass. We lost the crane and a bunch of stuff made it so that we weren't ready for our spot yesterday.
So, yeah, and I was told that last night, too, that you'll get an opportunity to run 2 times. So I know you're ready. Boat's ready?
Yep, I think so.
Well, it's floating over there, so good luck with that. So anyway, we'll look for you on the water. We're killing a little time here while somebody plays with my foot. Thank you, Mr. Eccles. Apparently I was getting that wrapped around. Anyway, we'll see you on the water, bud.
All right, thank you.
He is Jeff Bernard, U12, the Graham Trekking. Wow, this is what goes on. Hell, Mr. Seckler, how are you? You going to give us a quick tour here? What do we got going on? That's an important thing here.
Yeah, when we want cold stuff, we pull it out of there.
What you do, and we're looking at monitors, and a lot of data, I assume, gets consumed in here.
Yeah, we try to go through what we did on our last test and also our qualifying, see where we are and where we need to be. So we try to make our gearbox adjustments and our fuel adjustments here. That's what we've been doing.
And will you go out and run this morning?
Yeah, our plan was to go ahead and test both of our race setups. We changed the gearbox in Mike's, and we changed the skid fin on Corey's, and we wanted to do a little bit of testing just to verify what we did is correct, but the weather's not cooperating, so.
I noticed that, too.
Yeah. I mean,
that's why we're down here looking for something to talk about. This is called filler.
Yeah, the good thing about that is the same for everybody. You know, we're all suffering through the weather a little bit. I feel a little sorry for Jeff. I think he's the only one that doesn't have a qualifying time at this point. But I'm sure he really wants to get out there. But you know, there's nothing anybody can do about the weather.
No, there isn't. And if we could, we'd find the guys that put yesterday together, because, man, that was a beauty.
Yeah, if we could have a couple of yesterdays, that would have been great. But, yeah, that's just the way it is. And I think hopefully it'll clear up and we'll be able to get out.
So this is where all the magic happens, and maybe you can get the camera around here and take a look at some of the screens here and tell us a little, what are we looking at here with this graph?
Yeah, this one right here, so what we were trying to do here, this is all our radio guys were getting together. We do our timing runs where we drop the pins. We know where the course is on the map, and then we try to figure out what we need to be in terms of times just to set up our timing runs. So we try to get our drivers going a certain speed, and then we mark the pin. We know how far to go around, and then say, okay, there's your timing runs. We obviously do it manually, but we also like to look at it graphically just to verify that, yep, they're going the speed they said they were. We know the time is what it's supposed to be. That's kind of what we were doing this morning.
That helps that guy down there in the doorway down there, Mr. Peabody.
Yes, it does. Both Corey and Mike kind of have come to rely on using just that. It helps us. It helps them. And, for example, like we jump the gun or we do something, we always go back and say, okay, were we going too fast at our marks? Were we going not fast enough? So that's kind of what we do is we want to verify our timing marks and make sure that if we make an adjustment, we have to go back out and do it again. With the new starting procedure, obviously, we're trying to guesstimate as to what lane we might be in and then do those timing marks again from those lanes.
And the screens just went black. Does that mean there was something we weren't supposed to see?
Yeah,
We have that effect on people.
I don't know if it's the wind or not, but the power has been surging on and off here all morning. So yes, we kind of been dealing with that, but it's not a problem. So,
Jim, I appreciate you taking a few minutes.
No problem, Brad.
And letting us in your house here. This is kind of cool. Our fans don't get to see this, and they're so all of you smile down there. This is on the camera.
Yeah, we used this a lot more in the previous years. I think our team's biggest asset's always been strategy. We've always spent a lot of time working on strategies. I mean, we've never really been the fastest boat, but we've been able to use strategy to put us inside and maybe put a buffer between us and some of the faster guys. And we don't have that now with the assigned lanes, but, I mean, we do the best we can.
How are you doing with strong racing? You took over the reins of this bad boy down in San Diego last year and came away with a victory. That had to be a good, sweet start.
I probably should have retired right then.
Yes,
right?
You should have.
I'd be the winningest crew chief of all time. Yeah.
That's right.
It's been great. I mean, honestly, the reason it's been easier for me, I think, is because I have Mike and Corey. They're really good drivers, and Daryl and Vanessa are very supportive, and a really great team. I'm as you know, I'm a kind of a data guy and a detail guy, and my concern was boy, I don't know every aspect of these boats like I should, and but the guys make it so easy. We have really, really good people on our team, and I just let them do what they do.
Corey, you're down there just being good and quiet. I know you're ready to go out on the water, but talk a little bit about this guy and working with him. I know you've known him forever, but talk a little bit about the relationship between the two of you and what you try and bring back to him after every run.
Well, yeah, we've known each other for a long time, and then, from the smaller rinks, the small boats, and then, you see a talent, and you want to bring that talent with you, and that's what we did with Jim. So luckily I was able to do it. Some of the other guys in this pit area have known Jim for a long time, but I was in a position where I had a lot of say of some things, and, we were able to make it happen. But, yeah, we try and bring Jim everything that he needs to know. We obviously the boat's taking the data and he looks at it and tells us a lot of stuff. But also, there's things like yesterday in testing. We were looking at the data. I'm like, I pulled my foot right there, and something's going to be different. And so we look at it and like, yep, you did it there. And so there's a lot of things that. If you're when you're looking through the data and stuff like that, you can say, okay, this is what I did and this is what I felt, and he can say, yeah, and then I can go out and make a mental note when I'm out there and fix the problem. And that was yesterday. We went from a 145 lap to a 152 lap. Yep. With just something that I did. I picked up on it when I was out there, but came in and said, this is what happened, and we were able to find it without searching, because we just. You tell them what you did, and it's not, the computer's not going to lie. So so we picked up on that, and we're able to grab 6-7 miles an hour just by one error that I made. So it's having a relationship with somebody you can talk through that kind of stuff with, and then go out there and do it. So we'll see what happens today. We're ready to get on the water. We're just waiting for the wind or what else is happening here. There's a lot going on that we're hearing about. So,
as we said earlier to somebody else, welcome to Seafair.
Yeah, welcome to Seafair. It's always interesting, but I know I just looked out the back of the truck, and they were working on the exit buoy of 2, I believe. And I mean, as you can see, even right here, we were having issues with that yesterday. That's our track map. So that buoy was actually way out here yesterday, so we were having to run really wide. So it's been a problem since yesterday. So I was radioing in that the buoy was flat, and then we were also radioing in that was way out. And even as my run got longer, the buoy kept pushing out and out further, and it's a problem out there. They're trying to fix it, but I mean, it's what it is. It's just what it is.
I talked to a surveyor this morning. We were noticing a buoy down here. If this is the front straightaway, we were noticing a buoy down here before the entrance pin that appeared to be out of line, and they were telling me they got it fixed for you. So hopefully when you get the exit pin to 2 put in place, you'll go out and find an oval race course.
Oh, cool. Well, we just heard, yeah. What a thought. Yeah, well, we just heard that they're going to start putting us in the water here, so hopefully that's actually what's happening, but we might get to go play. Maybe.
I hope so. Good luck this weekend. I know you want a better weekend than you had last year, so turn it around, and maybe it's your day.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll know on Sunday.
Very good. Jim Seckler, Corey Peabody, thank you guys very much for letting us in here. Go have a good run. We'll cover it. All right, we'll step out of the truck here. Apparently we're starting to move toward putting some boats in the water. Big Ken, what you got going for us today? You got a good prop on both of them?
Yeah, we do. We got trail mix, and then we got lots of cool stuff. What we're running right now on the propellers is my friend Trish, and she's super hot, and she's just ready to go on Mike's boat. And then we got R2-D2. R2-D2 is one of my favorite propellers. There you go. Good old barn find. She's ready to rock and roll on Corey's boat. She's really good in the rough water, and we got a little rough water this morning, so we are ready to rock and roll on Saturday Seafair. Aren't you excited?
I am. You want to have a good time, you come find Big Ken. Talk about propellers, and trail mix isn't bad either. There we go. Have a good day, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So I guess we're putting some boats in the water. Oh, here we go.
Team's working like crazy. I just spoke with Jimmy Shane, and he said that They don't have any fuel data on this engine, so they're going to do a quick swap here and put one in that they do have some data on. So this just shows you some of the work that goes in between the boats running to make sure that that data we keep speaking of is put to good use.
Very, very good. So maybe now you can train the camera around the other. Hey, who we got? How about this? Brandon Kennedy shows up. Now that's bright. We can find you. How you doing? Welcome to Seattle.
Thank you. I'm doing good. I'm learning everything from this guy. I keep watching the live stream back, and I keep getting all my advice. I hear the log boom's going to be worse today and tomorrow, so it gets lumpy out here.
Yeah, I remember that conversation yesterday. We said, well, somebody tell him it only gets worse.
Yeah, that was the part I didn't like. You don't have to say that.
And yesterday was the normal weather in the Pacific Northwest. And if you're buying that, we got a bridge for you somewhere. But wasn't that a nice day yesterday?
Oh, yeah, it was great. I mean, the weather's been great out here all week. We got to do some touring, and now it's back to the boat racing side of things. And hopefully we tune things up this morning. We're going to go out there and give it a try this morning.
You had a mighty fast race boat in the Tri-Cities. This guy was he was excited about it. And I'm talking about the leaders, and he's going, look at Kennedy. You had a good boat.
Oh, yeah. The boat ride's getting better and better each time out. I'm getting more comfortable in the boat, flying the boat a lot. This weekend they did some setup changes before we got here, got the boat really loosened up, more to my liking, so now we're kind of taming it back down a little bit. Just keep making changes. Our biggest thing is to learn every time we go out.
You got something for this guy?
Well done. I liked when you said you're working on taming it back down. I saw how aggressive you were trying to get it light, and I can tell you're getting comfortable with it, and you're doing a great job. So it's fun for me to sit back and watch, and you guys got a bright future. It's fun.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We can't thank Goodman Real Estate and Royer enough for everything they do, and that's kind of what we're doing today with this qualifying session. We're going to roll the dice like Royer does. They make over 4 million dice a day, so we're going to roll the dice in this one.
Very good. I like that. They're going to roll the dice. Brandon Kennedy, thanks for coming up and joining us. He drives the Royer Miss Madison, so have a good day. There we go. I'll follow you. How about that? Since my understanding of hieroglyphics and reading lips is not going very well, but Danny wants me to go somewhere. And I got a hunch we might be getting some boats out on the race course. While we were in the strong racing truck, they were mentioning the officials came in and said, get your boat ready to go. So I think we're about to open up the course here. Sneaked my way through a couple of guys here. Stay out of trouble. What do we got going on here, Danny?
We've got guys in boats.
Guys in boats?
We got guys in boats. We're going to have Gunnar and Jeff. They're really antsy to get out there right now. Qualifying will be 2 laps max. So these guys have to make it quick.
2 laps max.
2 laps max. So here you can see the guys getting into the boats, getting ready. Got their helmets on. So they're ready to go.
All right. So Dan, what?
Go show 'em.
Yeah, well, hey. Now we're going to have to run one at a time, and if I remember the ladder properly from yesterday, and I was told that now we're changing things on the fly here a little bit. As Danny just reported, we're going to run 2 laps instead of 3. We're going to make sure we get this session in. The boat we want to run and see is the U-12 Graham Trucking. We just spoke with Jeff Bernard up in the strong racing truck. He is not qualified. But my understanding was, talking with the chief referee, Jonathan Abbott, last night, he advised me that we are still going to put the boats out on the water in the qualification ladder order that we ran yesterday. And if that's the case, it would be the U-21 Beacon Plumbing presents KZOK and Gunnar O'Farrell first, then Jeff Bernard. But Jeff Bernard will be the only boat that will have a second opportunity to run because they didn't get that second one or the first one yesterday. So bucket list is in the water. The 21's in the water, the 12's in the water, the 11 is now back over the water. So, Danny, maybe we're finally going to get some boats out here and get something going on.
I think we will, and it's going to be a big time crunch. The guys only have a 2-minute max to get off the docks and get those 2 laps done. So I think we're gonna race through all of it, see what we can get done before the air show.
And somebody advised you of this 2-minute thing, too, because that's a change.
I'm not making it up on the spot.
There you go. We knew you wouldn't be doing that. Normally, you've got 5 minutes, correct, Dustin? Correct. Yeah, it's 5 minutes that you've got to get your boat out on the water following the return of the previous boat. But they're apparently cutting that down to 2 minutes, and we're down to 2 laps.
Yeah, it's going to be a shortened morning session for them, but everyone is so anxious to get on the water, just get a little bit of that data we're talking about that's so important. And I think, the drivers can't wait. They're getting ready. I don't know if you see the J-Stock drivers of how anxious those guys are to get on the water, too, but they're just pacing, waiting to go. So
They are. The young men and women over here, they're great. They can start over there at 9 years old. And
oh, my God.
And you see the boats over there. You can see the 00, the Maverick there. They got the paint schemes and everything, just like the big dogs.
There's a baby J. Michael Kelly over there, right?
Yeah,
I was told that we were going to interview him. Yes, we're gonna go grab him. Don't you worry, Kelly family.
So we're just trying to have a little bit of fun down here while we await a green flag on the course. I want to go to you, Dustin, because I know we're standing right here and we're kind of in a bit of a cove and off the bank of that hill, but it looks pretty good out there. It looks a lot better now than it did earlier.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's really deceiving, though, from our point of view, because we're not seeing the rollers, but we're going to know right when they get a boat on the race course of how that boat reacts to the rough water and what kind of speeds they can put down and really how rough it is. And as we've seen on Lake Washington, it can change in the blink of an eye. So right now, definitely raceable. It's we're not going to see any course records broken this weekend or this morning, but just getting the boats on the water right now is the most important thing.
Well, yeah, we've got fans here. Seattle's ready. This is the 76-year tradition, and we want boats on the water. That's what we do, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We just saw the U-27 doing another engine change this morning, and they want to go run that thing. And we know Jeff Bernard, he's dying to get on the water and get this thing qualified. So we're just waiting on the conditions, and I think they're finishing up that last buoy. I haven't had a chance to double check, but I think we're getting close.
Let's hope we're getting close. We've got to be getting close. They were telling the other boats to start moving, and our other boats have been put back in the water, those that were taken out. And Dustin, back to our little visit in the Strong Racing truck over there. That take you back a little bit, looking at data on the screen?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming up with a game plan, and I always teased my crew that they have all the people on the team that can make these decisions, and you have so much time to sit there and think about the best way to go about it. And the driver has a blink of an eye to make the decision, to make those changes actually work on the race course. So it's a tough position to be in for these drivers, but working with the teams, that's a lot of fun. And it's just great to see them all in there working together.
And Jim Seckler, new to that team, but not new to boat racing. He's been around a long time.
He has, yeah. He's been around in the sport for forever, as long as I know, and he's so helpful to all the other teams. And he's not shy to jump over there and help people, and he'll share data and do what he has to do to make everyone succeed in this. And he's a great guy to be running the Strong team.
And everybody does get along down here. Yeah, there's times in the heat of the moment the tensions can get a little heavy, but the first thing we saw when we walked into the Strong Racing truck was Jeff Bernard.
Yeah, I think it's a big family down here, and like you say, we can butt heads here and there because we're all competitive, and that's what makes this sport so neat is the competitive nature. But in the end of the day, we're all friends, and even when it's not an unlimited race weekend, we're all racing other classes together and enjoying each other's company, and our families all get along, and the kids all play together, and like you can see, the kids are all racing together, and it's a great time. So yeah, we're one big family.
Now the dads are racing over here. The kids are racing over there, and it is a family. It is a good family, and, man, we are just waiting for somebody to say go, and we will go.
I don't know if you can see the buoy better than I do, but we've been watching them try to set the buoy, and the wind has been very, very strong out here. And like we spoke yesterday about how big the buoys are, especially the entrance and exit pins, the mass of them. I don't know how big the boat was that was towing it out there, but I'm guessing a 25-foot boat, and it was having a hard time keeping that buoy on course just to get it set because the wind was so strong. So hopefully they've got a lot of boats out there working in the same direction trying to get this course set, so hopefully they'll have it set shortly.
Yeah, I have to believe that's all we're waiting on right now. Meanwhile, our J-Stock kids are waiting. Our Grand Prix, everybody's waiting.
We can head back over to the 7 if you want.
Yeah, let's go see what's going on over there. We'll walk over toward the BWR racing camp. And Dustin, when we get over there, I think I'll hand you the microphone. You can kind of talk about what they're doing and explain why they're doing it. That's why we have Dustin here, because he knows all that technical stuff. Say, good morning. You can see the sling over here on the Madison, and they were hanging on the sling before we left the tower, so they've been there a long time, and like Brandon Kennedy was telling us, he's ready to go. We're all ready to go, and they've been hanging over there for quite some time. So look out, got a camera coming. Good morning. So let's see what's going on over here. Where's Dustin? So here we have the U-27, a Miss Apollo. Boy, I could clear out a pit area really quick walking through with one of these things. Here, take the mic there, young man.
We're just talking here with Jimmy Shane a second ago, and he had to step away to get ready. But the team's here working really hard, trying to do an engine change. You can see Taylor Evans up there with all the Alabama boys trying to get this engine. Taylor, is this the new engine or the old one?
This is the old one.
This is the old one coming out. So they're going to...
no, sorry, this is the new one.
Okay, this is the new one going in. So this is the one they have data on. Jimmy was telling me that the other engine they had in previously, they didn't know the fuel flow settings for it. So they weren't sure if they could go out there and run a legal run this morning with it. So the team is doing everything they can to put the engine that they have data on back in the boat so they can go out this morning and run it and try to move forward as the weekend progresses here. So that's a good look at a T55 turbine. That's Taylor Evans here, crew chief of this boat, and he's been pretty successful so far this season. And here's Dan Walters. Dan, how are you guys looking heading into this morning? What are you trying to accomplish?
Well, we were plan last night was we're going to use one of our backup engines, get it ready and get it all set and tuned. But with the wind came up and seems like we have a delay with the buoys, we decided to go back with our race setup.
So you weren't going to have enough time to get the test session or testing time in, so you're going with what you know works?
Yes, yeah, because if the backup motor didn't play, we wouldn't have had time to put in a race motor. So.
Okay. Are you guys going to go up? The conditions aren't great today, so are you trying to step up your time or just get some timing marks and that sort of thing?
Right now, for us, the water would be good to step up our time, but if not, it'll just be timing marks.
All right, and hopefully on the water shortly, I'm guessing.
Yep, we're last up, so.
Well, Brad, I think we saw what these guys are doing down here, and they're busy working.
Let's go down toward the back of the boat here and see what or who might be down here that we could interrupt their day. Oh, here's a good one to tell you. This guy you always want to join the live stream. John Walters with H1 Unlimited. He's our chief inspector. How you doing, bud?
You know, I'm doing excellent. Thank you. How about you?
Yeah, we're having fun, as you know. We've been hanging out at the same hotel for the last few days.
We have been doing that. It's been fun to be with the old group again. It's always fun to be in Seattle. There's so much history and heritage and everything here, and you know, with the weather and all the things that are going on right now, we're hurrying as fast as we can. We're waiting as fast as we can, and trying to get some boats on the water here quickly.
I feel the need to ask you about memories that come back when you look down here a little bit. You had some good times on this lake. You had some rough ones as well.
I did, and you know, that's kind of the way life is, I suppose. You have some really high points, some really low points, and I guess, you know, I was told by my dad and taught by my dad that it's not how many times you get knocked down, kid, it's how many times you get back up. And so I've been trying to work on that and trying to make things better for me and everybody involved in the sport.
What's the life been as an inspector here the last 3 or 4 hours? You guys chasing down any issues, or are things pretty set right now?
I think things are pretty set right now. Most of the guys are in pretty good shape. We've had a lot of time, especially with the delays and things that we've been able to crawl around on some boats and take a look at things. So most everybody's in pretty good shape. I think anxious to go run.
How about the water conditions right now? What do you think?
I think they're not too bad. The weather is pretty good right now as far as, there's not a lot of rollers and things out there. It's still early in the morning. The temperatures are cool, so the engines will make good horsepower, and they fly a little bit easier when the weather's cool and calm like this. So, yeah, I'm sure the drivers are anxious to get out there and tear it up a little bit.
Well, one thing Dustin and I have been talking about quite a bit was the fact they did not have an exit pin off of turn 2. Looks to me like it's in place up there.
Yeah, they've had some problems with the wind was quite a bit stronger earlier this morning, and it did dislodge a couple of buoys down there. So I think they've got those all back in place, and I think we're shortly ready to go.
Well, I think we're all ready, and we got boats over there just to our right. They're ready to go. So let's hope for a good day. Let's hope the wind stays down. We can do without the sunshine, although it was mighty nice yesterday.
It definitely was nice, and I've been joking with some of the people around that thank you to Seafair. They've controlled the weather here a little bit. This day is for our Canadian friends to be a little bit cooler, and we might even get to resurface the track later.
He is John Walters. He is our chief inspector, and you got one of your guys over here, Mr. Compton. Are you keeping him busy?
Oh, yeah, Steve's been a great deal of help, and he's really catching on with the things. Steve's got a lot of history in inspecting vintage boats and inboards and things. The area that he's working on now is just trying to get more familiar with the gas turbines.
Well, you are the man. Thank you, John Walters, taking a few minutes, and now we'll turn around because we're going to find the aforementioned Mr. Compton. You knew I was going to do that. You knew that's why you came up and stood behind me. I want you to talk to me about this guy over here, this John Walters. What kind of a guy is he to work with?
Well,
I want you to go specifically to the sense of humor because he's got one.
Oh boy, does he ever! What can you say about working with a legend? I mean, seriously, that guy, as my dad used to say, has probably forgotten more about turbine engines than I'll ever know. But thanks to John, I have had the opportunity to learn quite a bit about the turbine engines, and he was correct to a certain degree on the safety aspect of these boats. They're different than the vintage unlimiteds that I'm used to, but again, they're not. There's a lot of the same levels of safety that we look at, certain things that we do for structural things along that line. Has just been great, and John's been good in teaching me some of the nuances of these current race boats.
And it sounds like talking with John and you and just walking around the pit area this morning, everybody's ready to go. We don't have any issues. Nobody's got broken equipment that they're thrashing to fix, as we're going to fire one up right behind us. How about that?
Well, according to this here schedule, we were supposed to be doing this at 8:45, so yeah, we were in the water at 8:30, ready to go.
For our fans that have never heard a gas turbine fire up, that's what's going on right up here. They just put the new motor in the U-27 Apollo. And you want to make sure you look toward the back of the boat. There's a guy here if you step just to this side. You see the spray of water. There's a guy over there with a hose, and he's just keeping everything cool up there. The other thing you want to notice about the trailer firing there of the Apollo, you notice everybody up on the deck has headphones on, and that's so they can hear when they shut the motor off. Those of us who don't have the headphones, pretty much deaf for the next 20 minutes or so. That would be me. So had a quick check there on the propeller, making sure it was tight on the short shaft. Here, we can watch this get coupled up. Goes through the strut. It'll connect into the coupler on the shaft that comes out of the motor. You can watch how this is done. This is really good. So they will, there it is. Now you see the shaft has been pushed into the coupler. Oh, I just heard some magic words in my ear. I just heard green flag on the race course. And I look up towards our finish line tower, and yes, indeed, we've got a green flag on the race course. And the 21 is coming, and coming quick. Lid is down. Gunnar O'Farrell, we thought he would be first out. He is first on the qualifying ladder. We are going to follow that order. Jeff Bernard should be number 2 to come out. And we just heard the turbine fire up on the U-27. Now you hear it firing up, this time in a boat on Lake Washington, and it is the 2026 Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair. And finally, on Saturday, we have an unlimited hydroplane away from the dock. It is the Beacon Plumbing presents KZOK U-21 Gunnar O'Farrell. There he goes.
You and I need to head back over. Brent Hall's going to handle this part, but you and I need to head back on the shuttle.
Boat on the course while we get a boat right.
Absolutely.
Doesn't sound much better than that, so we'll turn it off now. We're going to head back up the start-finish line. We'll be back with you shortly. Boats are on Lake Washington and the Ted Jones race course.
Okay, and there is that smooth handoff to Brent Hall. I'm up here at the start-finish tower, and Gunnar is on the water, and looks like he's trolling a little bit. I think he's just trying to get his bearings. It's interesting. I thought he'd be on plane there, so we're trying to figure out if there's a problem. But it's impressive. When I was watching Gunnar all weekend, he was working on the boat. He was at the skid pin. Now he looks like he's picking up some speed. But he's learning everything about that boat, and he's building a team around him. I know Kelly Jones is on that team, Dave Lim. There's several great crew people on that team, and they're really proud to get this boat on the water. And great to have the new sponsor in Beacon Plumbing. So he's rounding the corner. I bet you Gunnar's probably just getting some timing marks, getting things settled. About to hit the start-finish line here in a bit. But, boy, it looks like the wind's dying down a bit, too. That's something that we were really hoping for. Fans, I really appreciate the patience. We had some issues with the log boom, and we saw them repairing that. And, yeah, interesting. So Gunnar's off plane again, so we may be having some challenges. Yep. So it looks like the rescue boats are coming towards him. We'll see if he pops the hatch or if he's still trying to get the boat started again, but we'll give it a minute. But I want to go back and just say I really enjoyed the footage, the pit walkthrough that we saw today. You really got to see the inside scoop on hydroplane racing. They walked into the trucks. That wasn't planned. That wasn't scripted by any means. And they just told you what was going on. Everything from how to couple a boat to, the computer systems that we saw. That's a big part of boat racing that fans don't get to see. And I was talking to the stat man, and he was just saying, that's the kind of coverage that we want to start sharing with you more often. So you'll be seeing quite a bit more of that as Gunnar gets settled here. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't popped the hatch, but I know everything's okay. They're just trying to figure out what's going on. So while we wait for Gunnar, our order is as follows. So we've got Gunnar first. We'll figure out what's going on with him, and it's interesting. He is starting the boat again, so we'll see if that's just to get closer to the rescue crew or if he's back on. Okay. So word has it there, and Gunnar just being safe and smart, there was a rescue boat in the course, so whenever that happens, you want to shut the boats down. A boat shouldn't be running when there's a rescue boat out there, and so Gunnar's running full song. I was wondering why the hatch hadn't popped, so that makes a lot more sense, and now he's moving just like he wanted to. Okay. So on the screen, you can see the qualifying times as they are. Gunnar's going to try and up what he has today, and he's moving pretty good down the back stretch, getting a good run at it. And when I look at the time for Gunnar, last time it was a 1:39.353. he's got a lot more in that boat. I think the first time out they were just trying to shake things down, but he's going to put his foot in it a bit. Weather's laying down too, feeling really good about what we're going to see here from Gunnar. Yeah, he's flying it pretty good. That outside sponson's picking up. Ooh, bounced a little bit there, continuing to bounce. Okay, so Gunnar's now on the clock. Again, a beautiful view. He really pinned that corner. He was right at that entrance buoy. A nice arc for Gunnar, and now he's heading down the backstretch. Yeah, so this should be a good time. I feel like some nice lines going through the corner. Gunnar's been really working on that, and I just know that 139 is going to be easy for him to beat based on the way he's traveling here. Yeah, very nice line around that corner, and as he heads towards start-finish, we'll get you a time here in a minute. But Gunnar O'Farrell, very nice run, flying the boat well, looking good, Gunnar. Whoa. He popped it up there pretty good. So obviously this front stretch is there. The boats are reacting quite a bit more to that front stretch air. He had to bring it back down. Took it a little bit wider on that corner, but Gunnar's rolling. First lap, lap 1, a 134.050, 134.050. Again, that might have included some warm-up, so I still expect a bit faster lap. Now, I know the team, Go Fast, Turn Left, they're super excited to have Beacon Plumbing on board. Beacon has been a longtime sponsor, and, they're on the strong boats as well. And then KZOK. So, there's a lot of history around boat racing and radio stations. Great to have the radio stations on, covering us, talking about the boats. And we're really excited to have KZOK. All right, so Gunnar's got another lap in the books. We'll see what we got there. We should have that here momentarily. He's coming off the throttle a bit, and you'll probably see Gunnar come in. Yeah, so we upped it a bit. 136.348. Yeah. So it's a bit of a shortened session for the qualifying. You'll get 2 laps max on this one, but there'll be hot laps at that. And up next, we will have the U12 and the Graham trucking. So as Gunnar's waving to everyone on the log boom. Log boom looks pretty packed for an early morning, and hope those fans are enjoying it. It's kind of fun. My wife and son got a chance to get out and see the Blue Angels out on the boom for the first time. If you haven't been on the log boom, that is one of the most incredible places to watch the boat race, to watch the Blues. It is really something special. I got to see some pictures. I was working, but I got to see some pictures from the fam. Okay, so we watch Gunnar bring it in. Looking good. That wind is still swirling a bit. It just swirled past the start-finish. Again, for all the drivers, that front stretch does seem just a little bit challenging, so something to keep an eye out for. But here comes Gunnar. He's bringing it in. Yeah, so just about the hull, and Brad and Dustin probably talked about this, but this is a newer hull, new in 2019, but they definitely have been kind of gaining on it. They're continuing to make it go faster. We know Gunnar got it to about 196, and then in Tri-Cities at a testing session, but then a 360 blowover and landed right side up, and we know Gunnar was okay, and the boat was fixed and able to race the rest of the season, but that boat has a lot of speed in it, and Gunnar's gonna show us that this weekend. So I'm excited to see the Graham trucking and the U12. They're gonna pop up here in a minute. Long-time driver and Jeff Bernard. He's from Michigan, a Michigander, as Danny would tell us, and I know they're excited to get some time in the boat. Jeff wasn't at qualifying for the Graham trucking, but definitely excited for Tri-Cities. Ran some good laps there. They've made some changes, and here he comes. All right, so Jeff is on the course again. A great drone shot there in the U12 Graham trucking. The shop is out in basically the Tukwila area. You'd see the boat, and you'll see the U-98 on display there. Jeff getting his bearings on the course. But, Rob Graham, longtime sponsor. He has been in boat racing for many years. When I think about Rob, he has sponsored basically every class, whether Grand Prix. He's sponsored the Little Boats. He sponsored several Graham trucking boats over the years. And this is one of the prettiest paint jobs for sure. That black and white with the silver really sets it off. Okay. So there we go. So Jeff about to come up on start finish. He's got his foot to the floor, going to put in a nice good hard lap. Here comes Jeff Bernard in the Graham Trucking. Now, it seems like Jeff's pinned down a little bit more than what we saw from Gunnar. Gunnar was airing it out, but, as I see the Graham coming around the course, he definitely has a solid boat ride. I'm not sure if he's going to try and air it up a little bit more as he comes around the course, but, it does seem a bit pinned to the water, and you can see the water, the spray coming up over the sponsons. That definitely means that he's not getting the air under the boat that he's normally accustomed to.
Brent, we're going to crash your party here.
Hey, I love it. I love it. No, I was just keeping the seat warm for you guys.
Thanks for filling in. This has been a busy morning. We're making the best of it.
Absolutely. I was telling the fans, boy, look at that gust of wind come up the course. The pit walk was amazing.
Yeah, we had fun. We had a good time and kind of got to hopefully take some fans behind some places they haven't seen before or, something new. So we used the best of our downtime that we could, and it looks like Jeff Bernard's using the best of his qualifying time right now.
He is, yeah. So lap one, 133.469, looking good. Again, like I said, it did seem like he was having a little bit of issue airing it out. That also might have been a warm-up lap. But it does look like we've got a black flag on the course. And, boy, if you look across the water, you can see the wind. We'll find out what that black flag actually is for. I know it's probably not for wind, but we've been having some challenges with the buoy staying in place, the log boom staying in place, so we'll stay tuned. Oh, sounds like actually it's a white flag. So we're still rolling. So we've got looks like Jeff's going to do a quick timing mark.
And so he needs, if I'm not mistaken, I think he needs 3 laps over 130 so he can actually qualify and not get in on a commissioner's option to be able to get into assigned lanes.
But my understanding is from Danny down in the pit area this morning, and first of all, welcome back up here, guys. It's good to be back up with you. I'll tell you, I was living
great stuff.
I was living the dream down there in the pit area. That is the place to be, and I can clear a pit area out in about 2 minutes. Walk in with a microphone.
Not everyone ran from you. Not everyone.
Oh, I know.
A couple people though.
I had to pay people too. But what I learned from Danny Rogers in the pit area, she had spoken with the officials and said they had cut everybody back to just 2 laps.
Yes,
now,
that's right.
That does raise that question of the fact you do have to have 3 laps to qualify. We will verify that with the officials upstairs, but I'm going to assume, and I'd be pretty surprised if they didn't give him a complete qualification with just the 2 laps.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Did he, Brent, we're just getting up on the tower, did he get both laps in?
I believe I saw 2 now, but I only saw 1 come up on the screen, so we'll validate that. But one was over 130, so that part is in the books.
Okay, yeah, we'll wait and see, but at least we have some boats on the water here, and the team did a great job of getting that buoy set finally, and we can get on the water.
Yeah.
Let's hope it stays there. Golly.
Yeah, they've been moving a lot. I don't know what's going on. But, glad the course is back in place. And, again, let's talk back about the pit walk, though. There was some really good stuff that Brad, I was really impressed. Your technical knowledge.
Of what?
Sliding in the coupler and all. You were talking them through
I was making it up. I had somebody in my ear telling me what. No, it was.
No.
But I tell you what, I just loved being back. I love being in the pit area.
Yeah.
And you walk through there. Dustin got the same thing, too. We're walking through, and all of our friends, and that's our family down there, and all of our friends and family, they don't care that I have a microphone or there's a camera right behind me. It's, hey, good morning, and this and that and everything. We even got Big Ken on there, just telling us about his propeller.
Absolutely. He's one of the best interviews. He's so much fun. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to figure out what's going on the course. But let's just talk back about the pit walk. I laughed when you broke in on Jeff Bernard watching the race in Tonawanda. I was like, he's like, ooh.
And I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to where we're going, and so I just glanced at the door as we started up the steps because all the boats are crammed in there so tight, and I just wanted to make sure whose truck I was walking into, and I saw Strong Racing on the door, so I knew where I was going. But I walk up, and there's Jeff Bernard.
Oh, yeah. He's like, hey.
Wait a minute.
We got you.
You're truck and boater down that way a little.
Yeah,
But
I think one of the funniest parts for me is I went in the U11 truck to talk to Shannon Rainey, and they were watching the live broadcast on the TV in there, and she says, "Oh, you're here for us." That was great.
You know, you'd be, well, not surprised, but the number of people that say they're watching the telecast just to get all the data. I even heard Brandon Kennedy say he gets his coaching from you on the telecast, so he goes back and watches it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think he's just going to give me a hard time if something doesn't go right later, so he has somebody to blame. But no, it's great. And I mean, it's fun to have a point of view up here where I can see the race course. And Brad and I have been in the pits, and you've been in the pits so often that it's hard to see. It's hard to see what's going on. So coming up here, you can actually see the race course. You can see what's going on, and I love it. And I think our teams get to watch our great camera angles on the live feed to where they can watch their boats run also.
That's right.
It's better than actually seeing it in the pit area. So, yeah, great job by the camera operators and drone operators and everybody putting it together.
That's right. Well, a driver can never say, well, I didn't put – I had wing in it. Like, well, here's the drone. Actually, maybe not. So, yeah. Yep.
You know, and another guy I want to give a shout-out to down there, Mickey Washburn.
Yes.
That's not easy.
No.
That camera is not light, and Mickey does an outstanding job, and he's like cattle. If I know when he's with you or he's with Danny, you guys just start walking and he's got to move and follow. And I was just looking at him going, come on, we go this way. And Mickey does a great job.
He really does.
And there is no bigger hydroplane racing fan walking around this place other than Mickey Washburn.
Can I spoil a secret?
Go for it.
So I've known Mickey for years, and I've also watched a lot of hydroplane races on YouTube for years. And I told him, I said, man, I watched this channel. It's called Tom 9 Ace on YouTube. And he's like, yeah, I know it. Come to find out he's a superhero. He's Tom 9 Ace. I had no idea that Mickey Washburn was Tom 9 Ace. I knew he drove, in the simulator. I knew all that, but there are years of footage on Tom 9 Ace of all the history of boat racing. Yeah. I've been utilizing that just to watch and geek out. Come to find out,
it's him.
It's him.
So, he blew his cover story, though. He was incognito until this point.
Well, I think there was some copyright stuff. He said, don't tell. But no, actually now I think the secret's out. We got it out maybe a year or two ago. And it's just really cool. These are some of those stories that people don't know. But Tom 9 Ace on YouTube, you want some YouTube history, go check it out.
He's, as I said, he's as good a fan as there is walking around and knows his stuff.
He does.
He knows H1 Unlimited boat racing. So we've got, there is now a black flag on the race course, as I see. There was a white one up, which was telling Jeff. Yeah. So you were all over that, but there is a black flag on the course. I'm not sure exactly why, but that's why we're not getting any boats on the water, because I can tell you for sure there are boats down there that want to go.
I'm looking, right here, the wind is coming out of the south, and it's the water in front of us is not that bad, but I was just looking down towards the floating bridge, and 100%. I saw about a 20-foot bayliner taking water over the bow. So even though it looks okay right here, the referees, they monitor the whole race course, and there might be something, and I'm just speculating, but there might be something at the other end of the race course that they just deem as not safe and is not conducive to run these boats at speed. So we'll wait and let those guys tell us when it's good to hit the water.
It's also interesting the entrance buoy of that exit buoy is standing up differently than.
It's pulling awful hard on that anchor.
Yeah.
And hopefully they've got some big ties on there, and we'll have to watch it closely and see if it's actually moving.
Yeah.
So I have an update here.
Give it to us.
From the Brain Trust upstairs, which is our H1 referees. And per the referees, qualifying is done for the 2026 Seattle Seafair and the Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair. Qualifying is done due to time. Open testing will resume when we get back to a green flag. On the race course, the green flag is gone right now because the turn 1 exit pin broke free. So it was the turn 2 exit pin all morning. Now it's the exit pin coming off of turn 1. It has broken free. So as soon as they get that back in place, we will go green on the race course. The black flag still hangs right now. And regarding Jeff Bernard, his one lap at 1:33.469 will count for his qualifying speed. So he will be officially qualified given he can pass Tech on that 1:33.
He just passed Tech.
He did. Well, there we go.
Magic.
So
that's great news.
That is why we have Dustin Eccles on the telegram. Hey, Seafair would like to take this opportunity to thank our friends at Alaska Airlines. Alaska Airlines is proud to be Seattle's hometown airline. With new flights to London, Tokyo, Rome, Seoul, and at least 7 more global routes out of Seattle by 2030, there has never been a better time to be an Alaska Airlines guest. We are thrilled to bring our caring service from more than 100 nonstop Seattle routes to this year's parade route. On behalf of all 30,000 of us at Alaska, let's have a safe and fun Seafair weekend, and we hope to see you on board soon. Seafair says thank you to Alaska Airlines. And you guys know Alaska Airlines has been on board here for a long time. They've been big supporters of Seafair, and from the 3 of us, not that it counts a whole lot, but
counts a lot.
Thank you for your support of an event that we do enjoy so very much every summer.
Yeah, and it does seem like most of the teams fly Alaska. I mean, we're all on those flights, and Alaska Airlines is amazing. They get us to where we need to go, and just glad that we're partnered with them at Seafair. And then Torchlight Parade, they always do something big. Alaska is a huge part of this community.
They are indeed, and Seafair says thank you. Seafair would also like to say thank you to Apollo Mechanical Contractors. Apollo Mechanical Apollo Mechanical Contractors is a proud sponsor of Seafair. 45 years strong, we support our communities and the people who build great things. Ranked number 5 in the nation. We are growing nationwide while staying true to who we are. Apollo Mech, that's Apollo, MECH.com for Apollo Mechanical Contractors. And certainly they have stepped up in a big way for the 2nd year in a row. It is the Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair.
Yeah, no, what an amazing sponsor of the race sites first, and then obviously some amazing teams second. They're just a big part of our sport, and really appreciate everything that Bruce Ratchford and that entire team is doing.
Getting a great look at the pit area. There's our drones. Take a look at the Stansairs Lagoon, the old Quill Shaft Lagoon, if you will. And I understand our Danny Rogers is standing by with Jeff Bernard after his qualifying run. Let's go to Danny in the pit area.
Jeff, a little bit of a fluid situation. You're able to get 1 qualifying lap in today so far. What's your understanding of next steps?
Because of what happened yesterday with time constraints, we were going to get to go out in our normal position this morning, do our 3 laps, and then get an opportunity at the end of the session to do another run so that we got our 2nd run in. Then there were some delays, and they reduced it down to 2 laps. We got 1 lap in there, but the exit pin in turn 1 was gone when went by it, so it kind of screwed up our lap, but the water's bad anyways. We just wanted to get over 130 so that we could have a chance to pick our lane, and from what I'm understanding is that has happened, and we're qualified, so that was all we really wanted. If they have time, they said that we're going to get another chance to go back out, but we'll leave that up to Tom Anderson and see what we want to do. The water is really bad pretty much all over the race course except for down here. White caps all the way up the back stretch, turn 2, down the front stretch, and pretty good wind going into the first turn. So we'll see what happens. It's been a weird morning here.
What sense of urgency was already added to your mindset this morning?
Well, we wanted to be able to have the opportunity to pick our lane, and the weird circumstances yesterday why we missed our run, and how that was all going to go down if we didn't get lap in over a 1:30 or our qualifying laps. I don't know what would have happened, but it sounds like it's a non-issue now. We're qualified, so we'll be ninth and have first pick come first E-draw. So that's all we really cared about. We knew we weren't going to go out there and be top qualifier. We would have liked to see where we stacked up yesterday when the water was better, but today it was all just making sure that we got an opportunity to pick our lane in the first E.
Great. We'll see how this goes. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
So Jeff was a little worried down there that maybe he wasn't going to be officially qualified or was going to have to go back out or lose his run and this and that, but he sounded a little better there. He got done what he really wanted to get accomplished. They are qualified for the 2026 Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair. They get to race. He's going to have first pick in his first heat, and that's what they wanted. He'll put it in lane one, and so they're all going to have to deal with Jeff Bernard.
Yeah, and we've seen it all year long. A team that starts out in a hole, it's really, really hard to get yourself out of that position as the weekend progresses. Something really needs to change. So the fact that the U12, Jeff Bernard, Graham Trucking, is in the field, qualified, gets to enjoy a lane that he chooses is a great way to not start out in that hole. So that's really good luck for Jeff, and he knows he's got a good boat ride, and he's got a boat here. It might not look like it on the qualifying ladder, but that boat can win this event, and just as any boat here can, especially as these conditions are the way they are right now. I mean, this is the great equalizer. You can go out there, and it's not going to be raw speed and horsepower. It's going to be how drivable that boat is, and that's what I keep talking about, before. So that's it's going to be pretty cool to watch all this unfold.
There's that word again, and you only use that word, or you use it 90% of the time when you're talking about the U12 and Jeff Bernard. Drivable. He's got a boat he can drive.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Jeff Bernard has been instrumental in making that thing handle the way he wants it to handle. And you can tell by talking to him. He's a man of few words, but he says, hey, this thing is not reacting the way it used to. It's all of the changes that we made in the offseason are working, and I'm really pleased with it. And I think, if you're going to piggyback off the U12, we go right back into the U11. And that thing is very, very drivable. It's not going to be out here breaking course records, but you look at Jamie, and he can drive that thing. He can put it anywhere he wants it to be, and it's very, very competitive. So the conditions are not what a lot of the teams want, but I think a couple of the teams are not that upset to see the water rough.
Interesting comment.
It's a little bit of an equalizer, isn't it? It can be, and it just means a lot more R&D, whether it's your gearbox setup. I know people have special props and special boxes that may be pulled out for the final. There's just a lot that goes into this that can make a difference.
Absolutely.
Seafair would also like to take this opportunity to say thank you to the Boeing Airplane Company. Today's air show is made possible by Boeing. Together with 65,000 Washington State employees and more than 300 community partners, Boeing is championing the people who keep this region soaring. Thank you to Boeing for supporting Seafair and Get This Part for the last 76 years. They were on board at the very beginning. They are still on board, and we join Seafair in saying thank you to Boeing. And you were not with us up here yesterday when we had this conversation a couple of times, but I brought Dustin along on this and made sure he is aware of my favorite tagline for one of our sponsors. You will like this. But Seafair would like to say thank you to the Tulalip Resort Casino. Tulalip, when all you want is everything, immerse yourself in Washington's premier gaming destination with AAA, 4-star, 4-diamond accommodations, a full-service spa, top-notch entertainment, and award-winning restaurants. It is Tulalip Resort and Casino. When all you want is everything.
Yeah.
I like that line.
Spa sounds kind of nice, too.
Sounds like us. We're those kind of guys. We want everything.
Yeah.
And the spa wouldn't hurt.
No, definitely not.
No. Tulalip, thank you very, very much for your support of Seafair, another entity that has been on board for many, many years at Seafair, and we thank them for their participation. None of this happens without our sponsors.
You're absolutely right.
And it doesn't happen, and I always say this, and now I'm going to put that plug in. The most important people here, the ones right up and down the beach and will be coming down here this weekend, our fans.
Absolutely. Fans, and also I feel like sponsors are fans too.
They are.
Right?
They are. And a lot of times in talking with sponsors, and you do a lot of this. You talk to a lot of sponsors, and you recruit a lot of sponsors. We need to have you doing some work for us. But a lot of those sponsors come about because at the end of the day, they're fans too.
That's right. And I think that's the big thing here is once you get a chance to connect with a driver, once you get a chance to connect with a team, once you get a chance to experience Seafair, you fall in love with it. And as a sponsor or as a fan, that's really what it's all about, is getting people to fall in love with the sport. And, you know, I'm really excited about the future, and the economy is a little different, but, you know, I do see a lot of value in sponsors putting their names out here. And I've talked to some sponsors that have been around a long time, like the Oberto Company. They're still sponsoring the event. Would love to see them on a boat again, but, you know, they're doing amazing things for us. So, Dustin, I know you've worked with sponsors too. Maybe what's some of your insight on sponsors and fans, wherever you want to go?
Well, I think most importantly, and I'm sure you guys are the same way, but when I go into the grocery store and I want some pepperoni and there's a lot of selection, I pick Oh Boy Oberto. But,
That's
you know,
right.
Oberto is, like you say, one of those sponsors, companies that have been around forever. And I love hydroplane racing. I'm a fan.
Yep.
And so any company that helps support what I love, I want to support those guys. You know?
That's right.
And my wife will tell you when we go for a night out and we're going to go somewhere and go get a nice dinner, we will go up to Tulalip. You know, we're in the north end. I love going up there. It's just so we try to pick and choose. You know, if we're going to buy a product, we go somewhere or buy a product that supports what we love. And so you'll hear a lot of those names out here this weekend. And luckily for us, I mean, our sponsors are fantastic, and they're just, some of them are Seattle staples. You know, they're, you know, the Boeing Company and Alaska Airlines, obviously. I mean, it's great to be able to you know, frequent some of these places and companies. So yeah, I've had some great companies to work with over the years, you know, and we were with FLAV-R-PAC for a long time, and I loved what they had going, and meeting the employees and coming down and just talking with them, and they could enjoy, you know, having their name on a boat and
That's
having
right.
you know, somebody to root for at the races, and it made it really personable to actually go down there and talk with everybody. And you know, back in the day, we had Little Caesars when I was running the Grand Prix with Little Caesars Pizza, and I loved stopping by the different chains and meeting people, and it's just great just to get out there and talk with people and share the love, because it's amazing how close of a family boat racing is. And as soon as somebody hears that you are involved in hydroplane racing, they say, well, do you know so-and-so? And it's just walls go down and away you go.
No, that's right. That's right. No, on the FLAV-R-PAC thing, it's funny. I remember that's FLAV-R-PAC. I'd see it in the vegetable aisle, and I was like, I'm buying that. That's what you do. So, yeah, I love that you kind of dug into that. And as a sponsor, they need to know, like, it's not just the race. I mean, Dustin, like you talked about, you go visit the company, or you can join a Zoom call and be on their all-employee meeting. There's so many different ways that drivers can engage throughout the year and really make it special for those sponsors. So I think we are kind of looking at different ways to bring the sport to them, not just on the weekend, but throughout the year.
Speaking of sponsorship from a different era, if you will, I can tell you only and simply I agree with everything you guys say. You're going to buy the product that is on the side of one of the boats when you have options going to the grocery store. I had a lot of Pringles potato chips.
Oh, man, me too.
I was a kid growing up. I had a lot of sleeves of those potato chips. They were good. But you know, another aspect of the sponsorship thing, and it's not really sponsorship, but it's kind of related, is the concept of social responsibility. This is something that we talked about a lot at the banquet last year, and I made the comments that social responsibility was part and parcel to how H1 Unlimited was going to move forward into the future, and certainly what we were going to do in 2026. We had an opportunity to talk to a young lady by the name of Meg DeBucci last weekend in the Tri-Cities. We had her on live. Well, our Danny Rogers caught up with her yesterday in the pit area. She had a conversation with Meg DeBucci about the Behind the Badge Foundation. Maybe we can cue that up now. It's pretty good.
Meg, you're here with Behind the Badge, and this is such a special partnership with H1 Unlimited. Can you tell me what your biggest goal is being here today?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for asking. Our biggest goal here is we bring families of fallen officers in Washington State to come out and enjoy the races, but with a special piece of honoring their loved one by having their loved one's name on the back of an unlimited boat. I will say that some of the things that we've heard from these families is that they feel like their officers come alive again when they see them race across the boat, and that is success. That's a success for us.
What have you seen of the interactions between the families when they get to meet these boat drivers?
They're hesitant at first and shy. They don't really know what to expect. They've never been down into the pits. Maybe they haven't been to Seafair or Tri-Seas in a very long time. And so they come down a little bit reticent, and then they have these conversations. The drivers and the teams are so welcoming and so kind, and it's almost instant friendships that we see between these families and these drivers. And there's a real genuine warmth from the drivers and the teams that welcome them down there. They get to talk about their officer and their loved one, which is really, really special for them. And from what I've been hearing from families here today especially, is they feel like they're asking out of genuine care. They really want to learn about it, and that means everything to these families who get to talk about their officer again.
You told me that Behind the Badge had been partnering with Darryl Strong and Strong Racing for 3 decades. You've been partnering with H1 Unlimited for the last 3 years. How much more sense did it make to just bring all the boats together and involved in this?
Oh gosh, so I wasn't involved in those first couple of decades of this, but when we brought every boat on board and was able to, so we drop a family off at a boat with a driver and a team, being able to have them all together has just made it feel like a complete package, right? We're not leaving anybody out. Everybody gets a different, unique, personalized experience.
Fantastic. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That was a great discussion that our Danny Rogers had with Meg DiBucci, and I know you got to meet her and saw her at our event last November, the H1 event. And she's a special individual, and she knows firsthand what it's like to lose an officer in the line of duty. But beyond that, talking about these families, and I'm so proud of H1 Unlimited because of the relationship with Meg and her organization, the Behind the Badge Foundation, because she says over and over, and she touched on it there, these drivers come down and they get one-on-one with these families, and they are so welcoming, the whole team.
That's right.
And they become part of that race team, and she talks about the families coming up, and they see the names on the back of the boat. They're on the bottoms of the fairing where they can reach up and touch them, and the family puts their hand on the name of their loved one.
Yeah.
And she told the story of a tribal officer who, in the Tri-Cities when we spoke, she told the story of this individual who lost his life out on Puget Sound in the line of duty. And so coming down to a water sport probably wasn't going to really work. And although very hesitant, the family came down. And like she alluded to there, they love seeing their family members fly by on a boat, and she eventually warmed up to it, apparently, this individual, and the family was there, and sometimes it's really hard for them, and as you could imagine, but this is a great cause that Meg has, and as I said, I'm really proud of H1 Unlimited for how they've done this.
I really am too. You know, it is about giving back. So we were just talking about sponsors, and I do think you mentioned social responsibility and how important that is. Sponsors see that too. Fans see that too. We see that. It goes full circle.
It is. I'm seeing we have Grand Prix boats in the water down there.
We do.
I see the GP15 Thai Gingers in the water.
I know a little story about that. Jerry Hop, Mr. Miyagi grabbed me and said, "Hey, I got some hop scoop for you." And I was like, "Okay, well, tell me." And so they've got a new motor in that boat that they have not run yet. So they want to try and get it in the water, make sure that everything seats appropriately, and just wanted to do that. And you were talking about social responsibility and just the way teams kind of share with each other. The GP88, which is not here because their motor broke, all of their sponsors and their not-for-profit sponsor has moved over to the Hop Racing boat. So Ty Ginger is on there for them. Ronald McDonald House is a part of the GP88. Yep. So, again, that social responsibility part. And Jerry just wanted me to take a minute to say all that. And as his little student, I did just that.
You did it exactly as Mr. Miyagi would have wanted. We saw him in the pit area on our pit walk. I don't know if he made it on camera, but I saw him and waved, and he said hello. He's I don't know what Seafair would be like if he was not in the pit area. Seeing Papa Hop there is always a special moment.
And he's still a bad dude. I tell you, he can still wheel these boats around in his 70s. He still keeps his license current, and it's really impressive.
I saw when our drone was showing the other end of the pit area. Now I know where I was in that truck that you got me in. Because you're down there, and I'm walking and talking and looking, and you know how it goes. And people are saying Heidi, and you're just loving every moment. All of a sudden, you're walking up steps. I honestly wasn't quite sure what truck I walked in. I just saw it when they went past the strong stuff there. But that was really good. We got to thank you, Mr. Eccles, for getting us in the front door.
Yeah, it was great to just go down there and, like I said, I love the view up here. I definitely feel like I'm removed a little bit from the pits, and you know, I want to know what's going on with all the different boats, and Danny does a great job of checking in with everybody for the updates. But like you just said, there's nothing like walking through the pit area and talking with everybody and just kind of getting the feeling for what they're trying to do. And that was great. I loved it.
The only downside, honestly, to that whole thing was when you came up to me and said in my ear, they want us back up on start finish. I was having so much fun. That's what I did.
I was sweating bullets. I was like, Brad, you need to get back up here.
I was having a ball down there.
I told Brad, I said, I know Brent's doing a fine job. I said, let's go grab a corn dog. And we almost did it. So.
We did.
It would have been nice to have a little bit of prep time, but, you know, it's all good. So I did my best, but you all are great teams. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you know, we're talking about the rough water and how rough everything is. Look at those J-stocks that are getting ready. They're in the water. These are 8-foot-long boats with, you know, 9-year-old and up getting ready to go out here and try to conquer these conditions. So as we talk about, you know, the nerves of the H1 Unlimited drivers and the GPA drivers, how about these youngsters out here? You know, what kind of guts does it take to go out in front of all these people? And I didn't mean to
no, please, this is great. This is great.
What kind of guts? We're looking at those boats right now to go out in front of all these people at Seattle Seafair and run in front of those in these conditions. I mean, they're getting ready for the race of their life, and it's so much fun. I can't wait to see it, and my hat's off to these young drivers for doing what they do. The Seattle Outboard Association puts on a fantastic event to kind of showcase what they do and get these young drivers out in front of them. But how neat is that? Hopefully we can get a glimpse of that when they run here shortly.
No, Dustin, let's talk about it as dads. I mean, you know, Finley ran, Brent Jr. ran. It's special for the kids and for the family as a whole. I think families all come out to see these kids run. I was told this year they said they wanted us to do even more coverage if we can of the kids, and so just what you did, you're doing that. We have a card with their names and stuff on it. Let's just try and make sure we pour into them because it's like their Super Bowl. They're so excited to be here and race, and please cover us. And so now that their boats are being showed, and then hopefully we'll get to do some shots of their heats as well.
Yeah, I mean, and these are not. They're exhibitions, basically.
Sure.
So these youngsters get to go out and just, you know, show what they can do and go around the course. It's a shorter course than what they normally run, but
lumpy.
The conditions are absolutely miserable. And I don't know about you, but I'll look back at some of the pictures and these kids running around the course, and I'm thinking,
straight up in the air, right?
Yeah. And the unlimited guys in these 7,000-pound boats are saying, well, that was really rough water. And I'm looking over at these 9-year-olds that are, you know, letting it all hang out and thinking, wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that might be in the yellow suit there. That looks like Asher Kelly, and he's in. And that's the other cool thing about this. And Dustin, you've talked about it, and your daughter did it too. That is an exact replica of his dad, J. Michael Kelly's boat. So it's the U00, the Maverick. You'll see it there in the red. He's in the yellow jumpsuit there, getting his gear all ready, but. Asher is no joke. He always, anytime I see him, he's like, you know, I got third and I got first in this. I got second in that. I was like, do you know I got the fastest? I'm like, yeah, man, I know, because you are killing it. So it's just fun to hear the kids and how proud they are. I mean, he's wanted to do this since he was like 6 months old. I swear.
He didn't have a choice.
No.
He's going to be a boat racer. He's a Kelly. So,
Yep.
And what you see there for the fans at home, and if you're not familiar with, hydroplane racing in smaller levels, but Asher has a Kevlar suit on. So those are basically, if he, has an accident or something, that's going to protect him. So they're just, the drivers are on their hands and knees in these boats, and if they flip over or have an incident, they'll actually fall out into the water. And so they'll have a helmet, and a lot of times they wear gloves and everything to protect them. And Asher is a very fierce competitor, as are really all of those youngsters down there. And I think there's almost as many female drivers there are males. I mean, they don't care. You just get out there and you all race each other. And at the end of the day, the families are all hanging out. It's that big family atmosphere that we spoke about earlier. And yeah, it's cool to see the sons and daughters of the unlimited drivers, but it's also fun to see families that aren't even connected to hydroplane racing that stand back and say, hey, you know what? I want to do that.
That's right.
And how do I get involved? And so this is a great way for people to see how to get involved.
Yeah. I sure can. Oh, and then we got the Maverick coming out. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick, let's hold on this one. We got a boat on the water.
Watch a boat on the water. You're talking about Asher and the J-Stock Maverick. Well, here's the real McCoy.
There it is.
Beacon Plumbing presents Maverick. J. Michael Kelly out on the race course. Got a little activity here on the Ted Jones race course.
I sure like the color and the lines of this. It
I do too.
Gives off a Budweiser feel. I know we've talked about that before, but it's just a beautiful boat. And Stephen Hayden, who owns the vintage version of the Maverick, I know he's very proud to see his boats on the water. He loves giving back to the sport, obviously, with 2 boats here, but this is his first in the Maverick. That wind is picking up again. We can feel it on our back just as J. Michael hits the course. But if anyone knows how to manage wind and read it well, it's J. Michael.
Yeah, for the fans at home, when these drivers are coming down the front straightaway and setting up into turn number 1, that wind is definitely going to be in their face. So that's also going to make turn number 2 extremely lumpy against the bridge and make the log boom that much more detrimental at this point.
Mike's got a pretty good boat ride, though, as he comes across start-finish line. That looked pretty good to me, running right into the teeth of that wind.
One of the cleanest we've seen. So, yeah, J. Michael, he's flying it, but it's level. So I like seeing that, especially with the conditions that we have. He's in a good spot. We'll see what kind of times we get.
And we were advised, and we are going to operate under the belief that that is still the case. This is not qualifying. This is testing only. So, and that is very important because qualifying, should somebody come out here and improve, he's going way wide up at the top end. This will be a timing run, I would assume, off a particular lane. Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, that's what you have to do because, you're the farther out you are. I was talking with our radio person, Mitch Dillard, about this. It's like setting up for track. If you're on the outside lane, you need to be up further, and it's going to take you more seconds to get around the course. So that's exactly what he's doing, is a separate timing mark for that different lane.
And it is important that this is testing because, as I started to say, and not qualifying, because should a boat like the Maverick here go out and improve their qualifying speed, that affects our lane assignments and our draws and our heat matchups moving forward. So our heat lineups are going to be already set. I'm sure we will be having a drivers meeting or a drivers gathering where they will select their lanes based on their qualifying speed. So this is just a test session, so anything that happens out here will not affect any of that first lap at a blistering 128 miles an hour. But as we said, he is out here finding his way around a race course, looking at some timing marks, and those timing marks aren't always just between the top end of the race course and the start-finish line. It could be from the exit pin of turn 1 all the way to the top. You need to know how long it takes to go from A to B.
Hey, and Brad, if you look at this view, boy, you could see how the wind was just going across the water there. And that turn 2, that's going to be problematic. We just have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, something else we're going to have to watch is when he goes slow, especially on the back straightaway, you see the water breaking on the front of the sponsons. It's actually going up into the intake. And so if you're up there early before the start and you're trying to scrub speed off, there's actually a risk of this engine getting shut down. So you're going to have to make your timing marks to where you stay on top of the water and stay at a good clip.
Yep.
You know, that looked to me like
he just got some data and
he got some data, and he got a timing mark on one particular one particular lane and said, "See you later. I'm done. That's all I wanted."
Yep.
Like possibly he knows what lane he just selected and where he might
You
be.
know, yeah, he might.
That just starts to look that way.
Yeah.
To me. All right, we just selected lane 3 with the 3rd pick, and so I'm going to go out and make sure I got a good timing mark.
And
off that lane.
it's even more reason why I was worried about my pick the prop pick. You know, because I didn't pick J. Mike, and he always figures something out here. He knows the stuff.
Yeah, it's not his first rodeo.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Well, hey, I'm going to jump in here real quick and talk about the Oberto Company. And definitely near and dear to my heart, but Oberto is proud to be the official meat sponsor of Seafair. Whether on the shore or on the water, for 40 years, Oberto has been synonymous with Seafair. Oberto has had Seattle snacks since 1918. And, you know, even a bit of a backstory on that. In 2011, that was my first job as an unlimited team member. I was passing out beef jerky, and they had me responsible for Art Oberto.
Wow.
Yeah, so I would walk the pits with him, and he'd pass out his meat snacks and pins, and just an amazing time to see the behind the scenes of how a sponsor gets it done with Oberto. And they would pass out snacks to all of the crane operators, to the crews, to the fans. And Art always had something to tell someone, some good word. And, you know, that's a memory that I'll always take with Seafair is Oberto and how Art poured into the sport. I know they had a house here on the water and had legendary parties. Larry Oberto's probably listening to in Italy and proud of it. But I know Steven is the marketing arm now, and he's doing great stuff. Still a part of Seafair and still a big part of our family.
And we certainly thank him for that.
Okay. So we may be able to get J. Michael live here and get a true word on what he thought of the course. But in the meantime, guys, what are your thoughts? What's going through your head?
I'll tell you what's going through my head. I thought Jamie Nilsen was going to come out on the race course here, but now they're lifting the boat back out of the water. Our fans can see on the live stream.
Yeah, and Dylan Runne, I really thought that we were going to see him out there, and I can't tell.
I saw Brad point at him and say he was walking away.
He was walking off the dock as opposed to on it, and I don't remember the last aerial shot we had, whether or not the boat was on the trailer or not, but I don't think it's in the water anymore.
Yeah, we're on a modified schedule, and I have not heard anything official, but just looking at my schedule that I have down, I can tell you that we're on a modified schedule. So we're going to be flying by the seat of our pants here for a little bit, and as soon as we know something, we will make it known to all the fans on the shoreline and at home.
So you were talking about Art Oberto having the legendary parties at the house up here.
Uh-oh. Here it comes.
That's kind of a legendary house in the history of
really
H1 Unlimited. You go all the way back to, well, I guess I was born. Yeah, thank goodness. Danny saves the bacon here. She's interrupting me with an interview with J. Michael Kelly. So let's go down to Danny Rogers, standing by with J. Michael Kelly.
Is last night after qualifying, we were hoping to get out for the second run of qualifying this morning, but unfortunately that didn't work out, and we were lucky just to kind of get back out there. We wanted to get a little bit of data with what we could, but right now it's definitely not raceable. Front stretch, a lot of pretty rough, but you get over the top of it because with the wind and stuff like that, and they're able to get through turn 1, but going down the back stretch gets pretty gnarly, and then turn 2 is just it's crazy. It's super rough. So, but I think we got enough out of that run, so we should be able to get dialed in for our racing when the time comes.
Can you make a little introduction for us? Who is this little guy?
So this is my youngest son, Asher, and he is going to be racing this weekend. He runs the junior hydro plane, and his boat is identical, has the same paint scheme as mine, so it's pretty cool.
Asher, how's your dad done this weekend so far?
Good. The boat's just not running as fast as it used to, and it's getting better as it goes on.
How fast would you like that boat to go?
156.
Yeah, I think that's a good speed. I'll take that too.
How fast do you want your boat to run, Asher?
So I'm able to win.
Yeah, his boat will go here. They'll probably run maybe around 30 miles an hour, but on a normal sized course for these kids, they can hit speeds up to 42 miles an hour or 43. But you can start racing them at 9 years old, and that's where I got started racing, and a lot of these other guys that are driving too. So yeah, anybody can do it. It's a great family sport, and it can take you to much higher up and get to be. I don't know. It's pretty cool that I get to do this. So never give up on those dreams, and you start out doing this, right?
So we'll look for the little J. Michael Kelly boat. That's awesome. Good luck today, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, I'm telling you, somewhere Chip Hanauer is smiling because I wish I had $1 for every time they were asking him how fast he went, and he said something to the effect, just fast enough to win.
Yeah.
Asher's got it figured out. That's how fast I need to go.
Yep, faster than the person next to you. That's just a little bit. And you heard, when Jay Michael said they can go up to 42 miles an hour, and I'm sure Asher corrected him and said 43 because, we talk about data on the big boats, but I can attest that the smaller boats have very similar data stuff, and you can go back, and that's how you make the adjustments, and that's what these kids are learning about. And I know my daughter wasn't a big fan of math in school, but when you start putting the math into something she cares about, and we can go back and start figuring out some math equations and propeller inches per revolution and all this stuff, and you're drawing out stuff. She doesn't even realize she's doing math, and she says, okay, I like this stuff. So it's a great way to enjoy some of the experiences with your kid and stuff. Boat racing is so cool.
Yeah. Dustin, can you maybe take a minute and just talk about the parent aspect of it? And, having your daughter out there running, I just think fans should know that, because when we were showing them the little boats, wow, I'd like to have my daughter do that. I'd like to have my son do that.
Yeah, we tried t-ball, we tried soccer, dance, everything, and she wasn't that into it. And then when she tried hydroplane racing, and we kind of had to bribe her to try it because she was very nervous. And but when she did, she came back in, and once we could get her in, because she wanted to keep going, and she says, "This is it. This is what I want to do." And I thought, how lucky am I that I get to enjoy a sport that I love too with my daughter and my wife. Thank God is so supportive that she says, let's do it. But yeah, I mean, then you have something to enjoy together. So even in the wintertime, you're working on the boats in the garage, and they can learn about hands-on stuff, and you can learn about meeting people, and it helps with anxiety because you're out there meeting new people all the time. And it's just, there's so many different things that a sport like this can teach young people that it was so good for my family, and that's why I'm just so glad to share it with other people. And I'm sure, Brent Jr., I'm sure he experienced some of the same stuff with you guys.
He did, and I think what's funny too is driver's test at 15, that's going to be easy. They've been going 40 miles an hour since they were 9 years old, and side by side, inches apart. I'm really impressed with what the kids learn when they do this sport.
Yep.
So I'm watching the monitor here, and they just closed the lid on the GP35 and Brandon Kennedy.
And we can hear him, can't we?
Yeah, we can hear him. I can see him. And we are, I know we had the GP15 in the water.
Well, we're going to see how rough this water is, because this is an awful light boat compared to that 7,000-pound Unlimited that was just out there. So this boat weighs roughly 2,800 to 3,000 pounds. So we'll see how he does out here in this rough stuff.
Well, Dustin, you need to be sure and tell him exactly what he needs to do, because as you know, he's going to watch this tonight. And we are going heat racing here. I'm going to take it it's our Heat 2A, because we're at 3 minutes and 20 seconds until the start. I kind of wondered, because now I'm going to expect the GP15 Ty Ginger and Greg Hopp to come out on the race course, as we saw that boat in the water earlier.
Yeah, this is going to be a hot heat. You got some good boats in here, I think.
We got the 15, the 10, and the 35 is what I have down.
Yes.
The 15, the 10, and the 35. Well, Brandon Kennedy, because of that top qualifying speed, had a nice lane in the first heat yesterday, got to pin it on an inside lane. Now he gets the inverse of that, and he will be on the far outside. We have not seen the GP15A. I am assuming that boat is in the
hear
heat.
it.
B, I hear it. And
I know that
C,
motor.
Those, okay, you know the motor. They always come out late anyway. This is nothing to be concerned about.
It's not. Now, I will say, Jerry Hopp did give me a heads up. Like, this is a brand new motor to the boat. They haven't had a chance to break it in. So I think he wanted to just let everyone know, give him some time. They got to get this kind of settled in before they really push on it.
So it's got to be tough to break in a motor during heat racing.
Yeah, not what you want to do. Definitely not ideal, but with the weather conditions, we didn't get a chance to test this morning. So when you're racing, you got to do what you got to do, but definitely don't want to break anything. Unfortunately, I know about that.
Yes, you do, unfortunately. Brandon Kennedy, you saw come across the start-finish line. You're looking at that boat as he goes down to the bottom end of the race course. Check that. That was the GP. That was the GP10, the Freak that went underneath our drone camera. And then up at the top end of the race course, GP15, Greg Hopp in the boat called Thai Ginger. They will be in lane number 1.
Interesting. Yeah, I kind of like where Greg's at. Typically, you want to be at turn 2 at about a minute. He might need to pick it up a little bit.
Look at the water
the
coming over the front of him right now, though. I mean,
it's lumpy.
It
Boy.
is so bad, and I don't know that he's going to be able to see where he's going with the water crashing over the front.
Yeah, no, it looks like he may have stalled out there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, these are really, really tough conditions for any hydroplane racing, but especially the Grand Prix.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's not a great place to be. Hopefully, he's just inside the course, but looks like he's right in the middle. But sometimes you just have to shut it down. And again, with that being a new motor, if he lost oil pressure, that might be another reason. But yeah, it's very, very rough out there.
So inside 50 seconds until our start, Kevin Ekert is going to be on the inside lane in the GP10, the boat they like to call the Freak, and the GP35. Brandon Kennedy, he's the speed in this particular heat. He was our top qualifier. Boy, those guys, it's lumpy up there.
Boy,
be careful.
Dustin, just like he said, I mean, they're probably going 75, 80 miles an hour there, and the water's still pounding over the sponsons.
Yeah, they really need to get to that speed where they can try to stay on top of it, but that's going to be definitely a chore out here today. They're on a good run right now. They're a little better than yesterday, coming up on 10 seconds right now to the start at the exit pin. That's great.
Yeah.
Careful, guys.
Gives them a chance to feather it a little bit.
Coming up on the start 3, 2, 1, mark.
There we go. We got to start.
Appears to be legal. They're side by side. Ekert on the inside.
Oh, boy.
Kennedy on the outside. Kennedy started to fly it a little bit. Flying it still.
This is reminiscent of an old George Woods Jr. quote when he said, in the K-boats, you always have a little throttle left. It's all up to you. And I think these guys are going to have a little throttle left today because it is lumpy.
They are. Boy, Brandon's still getting after it. As lumpy as it is, he's got his foot in it still.
He's got his foot in it. So does Kevin Ekert.
Here comes Kevin.
Kevin's closing. Not by a lot, but he's closing a little bit. He's hanging with Brandon, and now that inside lane's going to pay him some dividends, hopefully, up at the top end. Be careful, guys.
Yeah, boy, I'm glad to see Kevin's in his front canard. Whoa, he took a pretty good hop there.
Come to the exit pin. GP35, Brandon Kennedy on the outside.
Nice boat ride, though, in this lumpy stuff. Boy. You know, he's flying it as loose as he can over the top of this stuff. He's an East Coast racer. He knows all about running this lumpy stuff, so he's right at home.
He is. Yeah, the boat was talking to him, though. When it starts sponson walking like that, it's saying you may want to make a decision here. Still a very close heat within a rooster tail, but, boy, it is lumpy.
We go to the drone shot, and when you see the pit area in the background as they enter that lower corner, it looks like a beautiful day here.
Yeah.
Boy, you get down here at the water level, and it is a punch bowl. It is roughly. Yeah, there you see Brandon Kennedy just
look at that.
Hammered going up the backstretch.
You get about 200 feet with no spray in the water. You know he's flying that thing.
He really is.
But he's going to come down and find a checkered flag hanging on the top of the tower here above us.
Boy, Dustin, I think you're right. That rough water experience that Brandon Kennedy has is paying off here. He knows how much he can fly it, where he needs to be, just enough to win. Kind of like Asher Kelly said.
Yeah. And I'm having a hard time counting to 3, so this is our third lap.
This is our
We're
that's
on a
okay.
white flag lap with still 1 to go.
Still more fun.
What this is going to do, it's going to make this start so much more important, because if you can get a lead early and get out front and get the cleanest water possible, the guy behind you might not want to chase you down and risk the equipment. So it's so important right now to get a good start.
Yep. Yeah, Kevin's bouncing pretty good back there. He's trying to step on it again. I guess he's trying to make a strong finish. But again, at this point, kind of take your second place and regroup for hopefully some better water.
Exactly. I can tell that Brandon still has a bunch of throttle left, and he's really cooking. He's going about as fast as he wants to go in these conditions.
But Kevin's actually trying to gain on him a little bit. Wow. Yeah, he's stepping up in there, making it a good race. Oh, it's closer than we.
He's going to come right up alongside. This is going to be close, but Brandon's going to hold on. Wow.
Yeah, nice job, guys. Smart driving, a way to get through that heat race and just end in one piece. And hopefully Greg is going to have something minor. Hopefully it was just something little that left him dead in the water, but that's going to be a tough tow back in this rough stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That says a lot. Kevin's a cagey competitor. He wanted to do something for the fans and actually give Brandon a little bit of a push. So I think Brandon might have thought, oh, he's going to stay back there, but Kevin just stepped on it and made it quite a race at the end.
Yeah, is that one of those times where all of a sudden the radio guy jumps in your ear and you look in the mirror and go, oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Where did he come from?
It reminds me of a lot of those YouTube videos out there, a track star walking across the line and then someone comes past you. It's like, oh, no. Yeah, you don't want that to happen. And that is really the importance of the radio person, to tell you what's going on, who's coming up, if someone's coming strong. And obviously Brandon's team was on it, but made it a little closer than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, made it kind of interesting there. Like fumbling the ball at the 2-yard line after a 65-yard run.
Oh, yeah,
Start celebrating a little early.
Don't want to do that.
Don't want to be that. Don't be that guy.
That's right.
There we go. Brandon Kennedy you're looking at there. And our fans here on the shoreline, you see the sun glinting off the GP-15, the Thai Ginger up there as the sun hits that bright yellow boat as Brandon Kennedy goes by him on the far outside, and he'll find his way back to Stan Sayers Memorial Park.
Hey, Dustin, I got a question for you. So running a Grand Prix in rough water versus running an Unlimited in rough water, just give me your comparison.
Well, the Grand Prix, it's a sports car, and as you know, they accelerate like crazy, but they're super light, and they do not like the rough stuff. So, in my Grand Prix times, the rough water was very, very tough, and it's hard to keep your foot down because those boats are so light and so aggressive and so responsive to the rough water. And the Unlimiteds, they're almost 7,000 pounds. So. Right. Although they fly totally different compared to a Grand Prix, they handle the rough stuff a whole lot better. I mean, today's conditions are questionable in my opinion.
Yeah.
And some parts of this race course are better than others. But if for these conditions, I think the Unlimited drivers have it easier than the Grand Prix guys. The Grand Prix guys are going to have their hands full.
Got it. Oh, got it. Dave used to always talk about, racing in rough water. What did he say? He said something. Do you remember, Brad? He's just about when you're racing in rough water or if we have wind holds, he's usually the one to say, we should be racing in this. We're professionals.
I have never, ever heard Dave Vilwalk say this is too rough to race.
No.
He always looks out at the water with a little glimmer in his eye and said, this is not as bad as Detroit. Or I remember a time when. And I always have to smile and laugh because it's one of the things I love about him.
Yeah, absolutely.
My Dave Vilwalk wind story, and it's similar to that's what I remember, Dustin, what you said. He'd go, yeah, come on, you guys. This is like a good day in Detroit, with that twinkle in his eye type thing. But I remember one time standing up atop the pit tower in Detroit, and the wind started blowing, as it does often there. And it's blowing, and all the drivers are walking up on the tower because they want to take a look at the water, and they go, man, that's ugly. There's no way we're going out in that. I'm not going out, and off they go, and they walk. Vilwalk walks up there, and he looks out, and he goes, he gets his crew chief, pulls him over, and they're pointing a little bit, and he goes, he says, I've never seen the wind blow quite from that direction. We're going to go out and run. I want to see what it does to us.
He wants to
He
learn.
always wanted to know.
Yeah.
He always wanted to learn. I'll never forget that. I've never seen it blow like that from that direction. We're going to go run.
Yeah, something else.
Yeah, even in Madison this year, I had a great conversation
Right?
with him on the tower, and when we were dealing with all the wood debris coming down the river, and he says, this isn't as bad as whatever race he said. He remembers a time that it wasn't as bad. And I said, well, Dave, the rescue team just tried to take the spotters up the river, and our rescue sled here is a jet power. It has a jet on the back, and it sucked up all the wood to where it couldn't run anymore. The engine could not run because there was so much driftwood. And he says, okay, yeah, that's a problem, but they'll get that figured out. Just a minor bump in the road.
Okay, that's a problem. Okay, I'll give you that one.
All right, well, I want to talk about one of our sponsor family members, Barnhart Cranes. Barnhart Crane is one of the largest heavy lift, heavy transport organizations in the United States with over 50 years of service to our communities and our customers. Barnhart prides itself on providing innovative solutions for its customers' needs. All right.
Barnhart has been on board for a long time here at Seafair, and like so many of our sponsors, and it's good companies, it's responsible companies in the Pacific Northwest giving back to the community, and it's just awesome. We can't say thank you enough. People like Barnhart Cranes, outstanding. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Well, Brad, it looked like you were trying to wave at Greg Hopp. Were you waving at Greg Hopp, or were you waving at someone else?
No, we had a patrol boat go by, and he waved at us.
Okay, yeah.
I was returning the favor.
Yes.
It's what I do.
It is what you do.
It's what I do.
We've talked about the volunteers and everything, but these patrol boat captains here, and Brad and I, and Brent, I'm sure you've got the chance to ride on one of them, but they're doing a great job. They're docking in the wind. They're running nonstop this weekend.
They are.
And, from the course setup to patrolling the beach, but they're doing a good job. They're working their tails off.
Yeah, no, they really are. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch, and I don't know that when you're watching the race, you just think about the hydros, but there's all these support systems around behind it. So, oh boy. So, hey, take a look at the telecast with us, and you can see at the floating bridge just how it's bouncing off in the white caps. And I know I've driven that hundreds of times, and to see white caps like that, that is really rough stuff. And even if Dave says it's drivable, that looks pretty bad.
And all that stuff's coming back.
Yeah.
And it gets rough. I know you've got another one of
No, that's okay, but
one of our sponsor partners here, and we want to make sure they get their due.
Absolutely. So this one's NetTech. And so most organizations struggle to find effective IT solutions. NetTech has created an IT subscription program that provides hardware, software, security, and support so its employees can focus on their work and their owners can sleep at night. So those are all very important things. Another great part of our sponsorship family in NetTech.
Absolutely. And they have been around for a while with Seafair. And, again, giving back to the community, and so very, very thankful for all of them. We got boats coming away.
We hear some more noise.
We do indeed.
Now, Brent, these are some old notes I have, but 235 is in this heat. But it is not, because you're
That's
up here
not
with
funny.
us. So, no, I just looked at it and I thought, well, we have a four-boat. No, we do not. So I had to channel my inner Brad next to me,
don't throw me under the bus on this one.
It's a heartbreaker though. You guys had such a good boat yesterday. We talked about that, and your run looks so good. And unfortunately, you broke down before the finish, but you were on one yesterday. That thing was so fast.
It was fun. Yeah, we were playing with some spring tension on the throttle because it was bouncing a little bit, and we took a lot of spring out, so the foot was to the floor.
Yeah,
yeah, it felt good.
I spoke with Ed Thompson, the owner, this morning, and he wasn't dejected at all. He was more upset that he didn't have more parts and pieces to throw at this boat, because he says you're doing a great job, and he said that by the time we get into San Diego, you're going to have another bullet. So that's definitely optimistic.
He's heading to Chicago to do it.
Yeah.
So
miss you out here, buddy, but glad you're up here with us.
Thank you.
Awesome,
right,
Austin.
331.
Yes, awesome, Austin. Good to see him back out on the water after they had some issues yesterday. So we've got the The Miss Runne out on the water with awesome Austin. We always like watching that young man run, and he's our defending champion here.
Defending
on
champion,
Lake
new dad. He is
he's
all
got
of that.
I saw the baby.
Yes.
I got to coo and caw a little bit with the new baby, and so great. We've got another generation of boat racers
We
coming
sure
up.
do. We sure do. And Austin knows how to build a boat too, so that I would not be surprised. Okay, and there's our Lazy Boy, powered by the V Foundation. GP 135 is out on the water, and really excited for them. We like as Dustin was saying, we transferred logos over, and excited to support Lazy Boy and the V Foundation together.
Absolutely. So we're glad you guys were able to do that. Did you get the graphics actually physically put on the boat?
They are on the boat. We've got a couple more to add, but
Okay.
we definitely have the Lazy Boy ones on there and looking good.
They were not there when I saw it this morning. I went over and took a look at it, but glad to hear they are there now as Austin Eckert comes across the start-finish line in a boat that I think is just really a good-looking boat on the water, and it's one that our friend Dustin Eccles here, he's got some experience in that one.
He knows it very well. Dustin, what's that boat ride like?
Oh, it's a fantastic boat ride. Yeah, the first time I ever drove it, I think this was one of the first races we ever had it at, and it just got faster and faster. And Austin and the JJR team has done so good at getting that boat back to its former glory. You know, they struggled a little bit back east, but it was like a light switch when it got here to Seattle and actually Tri-Cities. Austin says this thing is fast. I was just trying to see the GP5 Jack Note Apparel looks to me like it's still on the trailer, so I think this is going to be a two-boat heat, guys.
Okay.
And actually, I'd like to see these two boats square off in a good two-boat duel here on good water conditions, because
I would too.
These are two very, very strong boats, and they're very fast boats with good drivers. And I'd like to see this one. We're coming up on a minute 10. A minute 10 right now.
Yeah, so
until the start. Do you like where they are?
I do. Austin's right about where he needs to be, but with this water conditions, it's probably okay to be up there early, so you can just kind of troll up. But yeah, they'll work on a really good start here. I think they'll do it well together.
So Austin Eckert is going to be in lane number 1. John Shaw is going to be outside of him in lane 2 when they come across. Their lanes have been assigned to them. They have both assumed those lanes right now.
This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a really good race.
It certainly has all the makings to be. We'll certainly hope that's how it goes for not only the fans watching on our H1 Unlimited YouTube channel, but also the fans here on the shoreline who not only get to watch it, they get to hear it and they get to feel it, and that's what they like.
It's going to be interesting to see who got the right timing mark. So looks like John hanging back just a little bit because I think his timing mark might be a little different, but we will see.
They are just about to the exit pin of the
I feel
corner
like
at
boy,
10
Austin
seconds.
took a big hop there.
They're about right on, looks like.
Yeah, there we go.
5, we are 3, 2, 1. Mark.
That's a good start.
Man,
Looks
that's
like a good start.
That's not a good start. That's a beautiful start.
Oh, that water is rough.
That is soupy. Austin moved away from John Shaw as he got down toward the bottom end of the straightaway. I thought maybe John was having a problem there for a minute.
Yeah, it just looked like he took some pretty hard bounces there, and so he's getting back in it, but that was rough coming down to the start.
Wow, that was, boy, we got a big...
Austin got that good start, though, that we just spoke about, and you get out front, you get that lead built up there, and then the
makes a difference.
Whoever behind has to say, do I want to risk the equipment to try to run him down? And I don't think John Shaw's going to do it right now. He's a smart racer.
Yep, no, he
not
is.
in these conditions, and
No.
as far back as he is now, he's back 3, 4 rooster tails now.
Oh, now he's stepping on it. I wonder, it almost seems like maybe there was an issue because now it looks like he's stepping on it a little bit harder, but to your point, Dustin, this isn't the time.
No, it's not. But Austin right now, he wants to see what that boat's going to do in the rough stuff. You see him, he'll squirt out ahead, he'll really let her buck, and then he backs off for a little bit. But he wants to put this boat through the paces right now. This is as good as I've seen this boat run in a really long time. They've got to feel really good about it. They had an oil pump problem last night, and they made a big mess in the boat, and they had to go back to the JJR engineering shop last night and not only fix and make parts for this boat overnight, but they also had to fix and make parts for the GP10 for a gearbox that blew up yesterday overnight. So you talk about being tired and burning the midnight oil, the JJR guys did it.
I heard there was a little bit of praying for a wind hold just to get some extra time for a part to be delivered.
Yeah, right now everything's looking really, really good, though, on the GP17, the Miss Runne. And Austin is looking up at that flag right now, which is blowing very, very straight out and saying, oh, man, one more? White flag.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, Austin is really handling the rough water well. He actually looks like he's got a little bit better boat ride than the 35 in the rough water, which is amazing. That's quite a statement.
Yeah, this is going to be a great final. You get all these guys together, and I'm really hoping for the final we have some really good conditions. But if it is like this, the 17's not looking bad.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Like you were saying, the rough water can be an equalizer, and it could be in this case as well.
Yeah, it's not about flat-out boat speed. I mean, obviously boat speed is important, but there's so many more factors that go into it, making the boat handle right. And right now you're watching the 17. It is riding like the conditions are fantastic, and Austin's doing a great job at keeping this thing on the water and just going as fast as he needs to go to get the win.
Yep, well done. There's a finish.
When that boat runs, you guys are the GP gurus, but when that boat runs, you've got your hands full trying to outdrive and beat that young man.
That is a true statement.
And he just nailed that start.
Yeah, that was a great start.
That was a beauty.
He feathered it. You know, first I wasn't sure if he was up there a little bit early, but he feathered and stepped on it right at the right point.
Yeah, John Shaw's going to head back to the pits now and say, holy smokes, that's rough out there. How did you do that? But, you know, he's got a good race boat under him also, and when the time comes for him to push the limits, there's nobody else that's going to do it better than John Shaw. He's going to put the pedal down and let her buck.
100%. You got a nice view of the dock and the Miss Runne coming in, and the team congratulating him on a great run, a great run.
So I'll tell you what we're going to do right now. We're going to step away from our broadcast for a few minutes. We're going to take a break here for the three of us. Our action is quiet on the water right now, at least for the time being. We have our official heat draws for H1 Unlimited for heats 1A and 1B. We have the lane selections. Those have taken place. We'll put all of that information together, and when we come back, we will have that. But for right now, Brad Luce, along with Brent Hall, Dustin Eccles, we're going to step away from our broadcast position here, and we will be right back. It is the 2026 Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair, the 76th time we have all come together on the shores of Lake Washington. Still got a long way to go. We'll be back in a bit. Hello again, race fans, and welcome back to Seattle, Washington, Lake Washington, and the Ted Jones Racecourse. Brad Luce here at the Bill Myers Memorial Broadcast Studios on the start-finish line tower at Seafair. We were hoping to be running heats 1A and 1B of our H1 Unlimited hydroplanes, but unfortunately, and as you can see on the water, if we get the right camera angle there, it is not raceable water. It is really rough here. You heard, if you were listening a little bit ago, you heard J. Michael Kelly come in and say the water at the top end of the race course in turn 2 was a mess and it was unraceable. The officials have agreed. They have sent the radio personnel who had showed up here for Heat 1A, they have sent them back, and Heats 1A and 1B will be run later in the day, hopefully weather permitting. But the plan now is to put them off until after the air show and into this afternoon, hopefully when the wind will die down a little bit. It is all being done in the interest of safety. We just cannot put our H1 Unlimited hydroplanes out there in this type of water conditions and wind. So unfortunately, we're not going to get Heat 1A and 1B when we thought we were going to, but I'm being handed some additional information here. Shortly, I will have it. But the water, we just can't run in this. It just wouldn't be prudent to put almost 200-mile-per-hour race boats out on the water. Our Grand Prix were out a little bit earlier. They struggled through it. Our fans along the shoreline, however, may have the opportunity here coming up at 1 o'clock. This is the note I'm being handed. Fans along the shoreline that are listening to me, we're going to have an autograph session. Are you wired up? Is this guy wired up and hot? I got Brent Hall next to me. Welcome. Thanks for bailing me out here, young man.
Of course.
Of course. That's what we do. Hey, fans along the shoreline, I want to talk about this for a minute. They can go down. We're not going to run 1A and 1B because of this mess and this ocean we've got out here in front of us right now. We're going to try and run those later on in the day after the air show. We're going to step away from the H1 Unlimited broadcast on YouTube. But our fans that are here on the shoreline, we got an autograph session coming up. You have participated in many of those.
I have.
But let me first of all tell it's going to happen at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
And it's right at the entrance or right across from the entrance to the Stanceres pits. So you just walk up or down the boulevard, depending on which side of the pit area you are. Go to the entrance to the pit area there, and across the street, you will see the Unlimited and Grand Prix driver autograph session. And that's always fun for not only the fans, it's fun for you guys.
It is fun because, you start building relationships. Year after year, you see fans that you've maybe met before, and if they're kids, they've grown, or if they're family members, they just have more memories. And I just,
or family members have more members.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, you might have some more members. But, yeah, it's really an opportunity for them to engage with the drivers and just get to know them better. And, that was something we all dreamed about as kids, was getting a chance to meet our favorite driver and to be on the other side of that table and have people say that about you. Wow, that makes a driver's day.
Well, I just saw something on the screen that was of interest to me because the 1955 Miss Thriftway was in the water. And you can imagine how we're dancing around to schedule here. Everybody is we're winging this thing. The officials, air show officials, on-water officials, we're doing everything that can be done to get this show on, but we've got to be safe. We're changing and juggling the schedules and times. But are we going to run the Thriftway? Apparently so.
I guess a heavy enough boat, and they can keep the speed down and still keep it on plane.
Boy, but he's going to have to get it up on top of this stuff. I remember once asking Vilwalk, man, you were running really fast in that stuff. And he goes, you don't want to slow down and start falling in it.
That's right. The corners are definitely going to be a challenge for whoever's driving the Thriftway. Do we know who's driving the Thriftway today?
I do not.
Okay, we'll find out.
I do not know. I believe David Williams will be driving the 58 Bardol should it come out on the water. And if we had to look, I don't think we'd have to look very far to find our H1 Unlimited inspector colleague, Steve Compton, I am sure he is standing down over his beloved Miss Thriftway that he and his mates at Vashon Unlimited put together so many years ago. They sold the boat recently, but he still has a soft spot in his heart for that boat. And I do too. He gave me a good ride in it.
Hey, nice.
2 years ago at the test session in Tri-Cities, and it was an awful lot of fun. That was a dream for Steve and I to go out and do that. And he wanted to do that for me. We had actually talked about doing it for years, and it just never came about. Where I was in the right place at the right time and the boat was there and all that. And then they sold the boat, so I figured, well, that was never going to happen. And he made a deal with the guys they sold it to and said, I want to take it out one more time, and I want to take Luce out in it. So he took me out in the Tri-Cities. It was a lot of fun.
Well, you always tease me about smile from ear to ear coming out of that boat, but I think that was you this time.
That was it. We took a lap, and then he kind of pounded on the steering wheel and motioned to me to put my hands on the steering wheel, so I reached over, and he didn't touch the steering wheel for another 3 laps.
Wow.
It was a blast. It was a blast, and I can never thank Mr. Compton enough for that one. He put me behind the wheel of a 2-time Gold Cup champion. That was pretty cool.
That's a great man there.
He's a good guy. He's not talking to me right now because I dropped a microphone in front of him this morning. I said, well, you were standing right behind me. That's your fault. You knew when I turned around and saw you, I was going to put the mic in, yeah.
Yeah, I got a question for you. This
Yes,
someone brought it to me. Skip Young.
Yeah.
Jim Ranger. Do you know that?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I heard some sad news that he had passed away this past.
He did while we were in Tri-Cities.
Yeah.
Jim Ranger, the winner of the 1966 Seafair race here on Lake Washington, driving. I'm colorblind, so I know everything I say in this arena is really up for question, but. Boy, in my mind, maybe one of the most beautiful unlimited hydroplanes ever put on the water. We were discussing it last night as we left this place, but the My Gypsy.
It's black and gold, right?
Black and gold.
And I'm asking the colorblind guy. I'm sorry, but I think it's black and gold, right?
It's black and gold. Yeah. You got it. Man, that boat was pretty. And he won the 66 race here in Seattle, and that was... Oh, boy, that was a rough race.
Yeah.
That was a very, very tough race that year. I remember it very well. Okay. That's what's coming. That's what's coming at 12:15. Apparently, we are going to have a vintage exhibition. I see a couple of our boats in the water, so apparently some more of them are going to go, and we're going to have a story when the 4 of them come out. But let's go back to Jim Ranger. 1966 in Seattle when the boats came here, it was a very difficult time for unlimited hydroplane racing. Of course, 1966 included Black Sunday on June the 14th. I think it was June the 14th. Anyway, it was Father's Day, 1966, when we lost 3 of the sport's greatest drivers on the Potomac River racing for the 1966 President's Cup. And then 2 weeks later on the Detroit River, we lost another driver when we lost Chuck Thompson. It was Musson, Manchester, and Wilson 2 weeks before. Just a terrible, terrible day in Washington, D.C. Ron Musson, Rex Manchester, Don Wilson, all perishing. 2 accidents. Ron Musson lost his life first in the cab over Miss Bardall. They decided to go out and run and continue the event for Ron. And that was back in the day when racing was all done on quote-unquote race day, Sunday.
Right.
And so they went back out and raced, and then there was the collision between the Budweiser and the Notre Dame. And the Budweiser, by the way, the replica down here, the Wahoo, that is a replica of that boat.
Okay.
The X-side, the Wahoo became the X-side and all that good stuff. So when the boats came here to Seattle, there was a pretty dark cloud hanging over unlimited hydroplane racing. And at the top end of the race course here, I remember it well, Bill Brow was driving the Budweiser during the 66 race here in Seattle, and he hooked and spun, and I don't remember quite candidly if the boat went over and rolled over on it, but you can just imagine all of a sudden we had another boat over, we had another driver in the water, and there was a great picture. I have it in my scrapbook at home. There was a picture of Bill Brow when they brought him back, he's on the gurney and they're wheeling him through the pit area and he's lighting a cigarette. He was fine, but nobody knew that at the time. And it was that was a tough season. And then it was one of those years where everything kind of fell together. You get the right draw, you get the right break. This happens right. This. Jim Ranger and the My Gypsy.
There it
ends up bubbling up to the top, and he and wife Yvonne out here from the Detroit area. Great people. As I said, a beautiful boat. The My Gypsy is a vintage boat that needs to get back out on the water, either in a replica or I think the whole thing was destroyed on the Detroit River. But Jim Ranger was a big name in our sport.
Yeah.
And he's got a special spot certainly in the hearts of people in Detroit, but also out here in Seattle for that 1966 win. And he passed away. I don't remember what his age was, but I think the numbers were pretty good, and he had a good long life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Borgeson family, is there a tie? Leif Borgeson?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I thought there was because I saw a name, but I believe it was spelled different. I just saw the name Borgerson, but I think it was Borgeson without the R in the middle.
Okay.
So I don't think any tie to Leif.
Well, thanks for dropping that in. I know Skip had stopped by and told me about it, and I was like, well, let's figure out, and I didn't get a chance to chat with you. We just figure out how to share it with the fans.
We just wing it.
We do, but, this was an important one, so thank you for doing that.
Was, and I remember getting that information last week. I went, wow, I flashed back to 1966, being I won't say how old I was, but I was probably pretty close to 14.
Okay.
Being here on the beach watching the race.
I need a 14-year-old Brad Luce picture, don't you? I want to see it.
Not much.
Yeah,
Seeing his energy right now, the picture back then would be a blur of him running by,
Probably
chasing the boats up and down the
look
beach.
at that! Yeah. Oh yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
That's funny you say that. You hearkened me back to my kids, and I'm going back to 1998 when I called my first race on KONA radio over in the Tri-Cities. And I remember I got the offer to do it, and I said to my kids, I went, wow, I've never done anything like this before. I don't know if I can do this. And they go, Dad, you've been calling these races for 20 years. It's just now you're going to have a microphone plugged in front of you.
Yeah.
I guess I was a talker during the race.
Okay, you don't talk during movies, do you?
No.
Okay, good, because
No.
that
doesn't work.
That's party foul. Don't do that.
And I'm late, Brad, on coming back in. Did you cover what's going on with the vintage boats in the water?
We have not, and we need to touch on that because I didn't know if anybody other than the Thriftway was going to come out. Do you want to tell the story that we learned about the Wahoo and David Williams?
Well, I was told that the Bardol is actually
Excuse me, you're right. It's the Bardol.
Yeah, so if you want to cover this story here, Bill Myers is actually going to be going for a memorial ride. So
let's do that. Let's have this discussion here. I'll fill that in because there's some notes down here on the bottom of the page that I want to get to. We have been referring to our broadcast studios here, the palatial broadcast studios, I might add. Palatial Broadcast Studios here as the Bill Myers Memorial Broadcast Studios on the start-finish line tower here at Seafair. And I'm sure there's a lot of people, most people, that are listening to us going, who in the world is Bill Myers? Well, he was a wonderful guy. And he started working for Seafair when he was 17 years old. And he was looking for some cool pins, and I guess they wouldn't just give him the buttons. They said he had to go to work for them. So he started working. And he was volunteering around here, and he just loved it, and everybody liked him. And he ended up working in environmental. He did carpentry here. He was a race chairman. He started at the start-finish line tower in 1999. And his job was to take care of the volunteers and the agencies here that are involved with the start-finish line tower. And one of the things that he was in charge of, they said it would be really nice if he could help feed the volunteers that are here on the start-finish line tower. And we fall into that category. And I didn't know this until a couple of years ago when I came up here for the first time. Well, he took that to the nth degree. and just decided, well, putting out some potato chips and donuts wasn't going to get the job done. So he moves in. Basically, there's a full-blown indoor-outdoor kitchen down here. He has a refrigerator freezer that he always had down here. The barbecue, the family's there helping him get all this done, and they serve barbecued hamburgers, hot dogs. Welcome, Mr. Eccles. You found out all about it for the first time yesterday. It's great. We just walked down there. There's drinks. There's chips. He's got hot dogs, hamburgers off of the barbecue. It's absolutely, oh, but wait. There's more. There's hot coffee here in the morning. They've got fresh brewed coffee going. You've seen the popcorn machine over there. It's already been running. You've had some popcorn?
No, I haven't had any of it.
Oh, we forgot to tell him about it. Okay,
yeah.
I guess
Dustin,
that cat's coming
you
out of the
told me
bag.
to include you on my list. You got to include me on your list.
Brent, I need you to step this way just a little bit. Now, you look right over there. Do you see the popcorn machine?
Okay, I do see that.
You see the 2 white bags to the right side?
One for me?
It's got your name on it.
Okay, all right, fine.
Yeah, so
I feel better. Lip
there's popcorn
unstuck out.
Anyway, but there was so much more that he did. He was a Seafair Boat Club lifetime member. He served 2 terms as the Commodore from 1994 to 95 and then 14 to 15. His daughters are serving as a Commodore after him in 2015. He just did so much for Seafair. And those of us who were here and knew him, he always did it with a smile. The food's all free. He donates. He came to me when I came up here on the tower, and he goes, now the announcers that were up here before you, they like popsicles. And so I always have popsicles. I need to know your favorite flavor of popsicle because it's good on your throat, you know, so you won't get raspy. And he goes, but I'm going to tell you right now, I won't get you grape because it'll get on your tongue and it doesn't look good on the camera. Yeah. This guy was like that. And I met him a few years ago. Wonderful, wonderful man who would do anything for you. And the family is here again, continuing his tradition. Unfortunately, we lost him in the off season. And then we came up here, and his daughter is talking to us, and she was all teary-eyed, and we were giving her hugs yesterday and all this stuff. And I asked her how she was doing. She says, I'm trying to hold together. And she said, you know he's here, right? And I said, where is he? And she pointed out there to the start-finish line buoy that is the closest to us, and 150 feet of water out there, and a bunch of his ashes are tied to the anchor at the bottom. So he is out there on the race course, and as Dustin Eccles and I learned, David Williams is going to carry along the rest of his ashes in the 1958 Miss Bardall when he comes out on the race course. So we decided, a long-winded discussion here, for which I apologize, but we decided here that it would only be right that we refer to our broadcast position here as the Bill Myers Memorial Broadcast Studios. Bill, hope that's okay with you. We did it, and your family's here. We're still enjoying your tradition, and Lord knows you are with us here. And right now he's getting a ride of a lifetime. He's about to go in an unlimited hydroplane of the vintage style, the 58 Bardall.
His daughter Erin has been so instrumental in keeping his legacy, passing it on to us and just letting us know all the little, information about her dad. And it's so cool to sit and talk with her also. So, but what a awesome tribute to her dad right here, going for a ride in the Bardall. I'm so excited for him. That's cool.
Yeah. There he is. He's the third one out.
Yeah.
And the Thriftway is behind him, but the 1958 low-profile Green Dragon has got Bill Myers with him. Erin, I'm sure she's not up here. She was down in the pit area. I saw her up here later on. I am sure she is down there, and she has a very hard time talking about her beloved father without tearing up. So I'm sure somebody's holding her hand down there and helping her through this, but she's happy, and I'm sure Bill is too.
Such a sweet man. And I remember him like during the autograph sessions. He was always making sure the drivers were okay, and do you need anything? Do you need water? And just like you shared, he took care of everybody.
He did, and I never knew.
I didn't know how much the magnitude
had
that
this
he
whole
done.
thing going on.
I had no idea.
You see him getting ready over there, and
Guys like that, though, they are the unsung people of what makes Seafair so important and so cool. You know, they don't need the spotlight on them. They don't need all the accolades and stuff. They put their nose in the grindstone, and they get to work, and they make it happen. They make everyone's experience so magical. So very cool that we're finally getting to talk about him a little bit and give him some of the props that he deserves.
Absolutely. Well said.
Born July the 26th, 1956. Passed away much too early on May the 7th of this year. And you're exactly right, Dustin. That's a great point. He did it, and he did it for no other reason than just the love of family, people, community, this sport, this event. It's great people like that. So we got our 4 vintage hydroplanes up at the top end of the race course. Looking for Bill Myers up there now. I think he's going to be sitting maybe in lane number 2. We got a drone shot here. There, we're riding along with the Wahoo and the drone.
I'm impressed with how well they're handling the water. I mean, I know they're off speed, but that really is lumpy.
Right, there's no seat belts in these things, so they hit these holes. It's it's hang on.
Yeah, so Bill, hang on in there. Hang on to David Williams. You're sitting in lane 1. That's the 58 Bardall. Notre Dame's in 2. Boy, that is soupy water for these guys. Got the Wahoo in 3. Thriftway on the outside.
With them going slower, you just get a really good look at the detail of each of the boats. They're beautiful boats, all been expertly restored.
Well, we were talking yesterday when they had the camera right down on the top of the Wahoo, and we always make the comment when you help restore the boats down there at the museum, they say, we're not trying to make a piano here. Well, you go down and look at the deck of the Thriftway and look at the deck of the Wahoo. Those are pianos. Those things are beautiful.
They look a lot better now than they did then.
Oh, absolutely.
They were race boats then. Now they're art pieces.
Yeah, the drivers like to stay together for some good photo ops and stuff. And they're doing a great job of just keeping these things going in a straight line in this crazy wind. And you can see where the water is breaking over the side of David Williams in that Bardall boat. It is so rough. I can't imagine being out here in competition trying to run some hot laps.
So, Brent, we were talking yesterday on the outside there. You got the Wahoo and the Thriftway. These were 2 of 4 boats that came off the drawing board of Ted Jones back in 1955. And this was after he broke away from the slow motion racing team. And he came out with 4 boats in that year, and they were all hull copies.
Okay.
They were all the same. So the Wahoo and the Thriftway are the same hull. They are hull copies of each other. The other 2 are the Miss Spokane and the Shanty 1.
Is the Hawaii Kai a lot different?
It's different, not a lot, but it is different. Yeah.
Okay. The only reason I ask is I had an RC boat that was a Hawaii Kai that got turned into a Miss US, and I didn't know, and that was a Roger Newton hull, but I didn't know how that all. You said copies of boats.
and the Hawaii Kai, yes, and Miss US, they definitely the names transferred around on those 2.
Okay.
But those little 28-foot Wahoo, Thriftway, Shanty, Spokane, all boats, all of which won a major H1 Unlimited event at some time or another. Spokane never got one as Miss Spokane, but did as Miss Lapeer many, many years later.
Even though it's rough, I'm so glad they decided to run this. It's a little majestic, them going this slow, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. So I hope Bill Myers is having a good time.
I'm sure Bill Myers is having a great time. That big smile, I can see it right now.
Yeah, he always had. That's the only way you ever saw him.
Right.
You never saw that man without a smile on his face.
A ton of responsibilities, but like you said, never angry, just getting things done.
Yeah, I think Brad said it best when he said that, he wanted to make everyone feel welcomed up here and comfortable. And I tell you, that's the first thing. This is my first time being up here to the start-finish line, and I felt so welcomed up here. And when they started pointing around and said, hey, make yourself at home. Feel, you're comfortable. Just help yourself to whatever you need. There's water. There's everything. I thought, wow, this is amazing. And finding out who the person is who made all this stuff possible is so neat. I mean, it's just a great full circle way to wrap it up.
Hospitality.
Absolutely.
Well, the boats are still doing a great job of staying close to each other, and again, more of a tribute to Bill. But this is a pretty sight.
Yeah, just seeing these old wood boats just kind of pound their way through the rough stuff. They're getting it done with ease, and the drivers are being smart, and not trying to step on it too much, but still put on a good show and give everybody a chance to see these museum pieces in action. And when we say museum pieces, they really, really are. If you want to see these boats up close and personal, to head down to the Hydroplane and Race Boat Museum down in Kent. It's absolutely fantastic, and you can go up and check these boats out and put your hands on them and ask the volunteers down there, about the history of the boats and some of the stories behind it. And they're more than happy to tell you about it. And if you're not careful, they'll rope you into helping out down there, which is a pretty fun way to spend some time. Yeah, go down there and just learn about the boats, learn about the history, and get involved. It's a pretty cool setup.
Yeah, and I think people who've never been there, they're always so shocked. It's like, wow, I just had no idea. I had no idea the history, and even there's some little, videos that are playing that, show you some of the footage from back there. There's definitely some exhibits for different drivers, some of the famous drivers that we've all grown up on, watching over the years. You can spend days in there and not catch everything.
So if I have learned how to watch our racing flags over the years, we've got a white flag hanging the last time our boats came across the start-finish line. So that means one more to go, which means, Mr. Bill Myers, you got one more lap aboard the Bardol with David Williams. And just one more time for all of us here on the start-finish line tower. Bill Myers, thank you for all you did for Seafair, all you did for all of us on the start-finish line tower. And we will continue to refer to our broadcast position as the Bill Myers Memorial Broadcast Studios on the start-finish line tower. So 4 boats together. It's a better race up the backstretch than we got right here in front of us. We got only 3 geese, but we got 4 boats running up the back chute here. So, and I got big news for you guys when these guys come across the finish line. Man, and that wind is blowing so good.
We're just taking care of Mr. GQ, making him look good.
Yeah, Rena's not here with me, so it takes 3 guys to help me look presentable.
She does a good job, though. So
she's got her hands full.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got quite no idea.
Rena, we tried. We did try, Rena.
I've got no idea what's going on here behind me, but I'm
goodness,
probably getting strangled over here. Here we go.
Okay.
All right, so here come our 4 vintage boats. I know everybody's wondering what's going on in studio here.
There's a wardrobe change.
Yes, the wardrobe change, more than a few wardrobe malfunctions as our 4 vintage boats come across the start-finish line for the last time today. On the inside, David Williams in the Miss Bardol riding along. With him is Bill Myers. We've got the 1962 Notre Dame sitting in lane 2. The Wahoo is the 3rd boat across the line, and then, boy, struggling out there in the soup is the 1955 Miss Thriftway, a 2-time Gold Cup champion.
I love watching David Williams come back into the pits when he stands up in the seat to see where he's going, the bow way up in the air. I just love it. He's great.
Yeah, a little bit like a pleasure boat trying to get up. It's like, I can't see where I'm going, but I got to make that dock.
So as our boats are heading back toward the pit area, I have good news for you, gentlemen, which is why I made the two of you get up here and get behind, and I think we're about to get tossed on camera here if we're not careful.
Okay.
As our vintage, but there we are. We're on, no, we're not, haven't showed up just yet, but I think we're about to as our vintage boats head back, and that's going to conclude our activity on the water before we go to the air. But before we break away,
yes,
I have a special guest off to my left. We're
Oh,
joined
my
here,
goodness.
as you know, by Shannon Rainey
Hey.
of the U11 Miss FLAV-R-PAC. Oh, here, if we get down here a little tighter, there we go.
There we go.
We got Shannon here with us. We need a headset on her. We're going to do this very quickly, but you come bearing not only gifts, you got goodies and lots of them.
wow.
We're going to get a headset on her just a minute. This is the important stuff as we watch the Miss Thriftway.
Do you think Brad's going to share with us?
I don't know. We made fun of him with the pick the prop.
Yeah, you guys didn't like my comments, but I think
this is where we pay for those comments. Okay.
So we're going to just do this on the air. Shannon, can you hear us?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, and I got her too. So explain to me what we have here and what you have brought us.
Well, we've been sitting in the pits, watching your great broadcast, watching you guys up here, knowing that you have to broadcast through all this wind delay. Figured you weren't eating. And Briley's Barbecue in Lake Forest Park has generously fed the Miss FLAV-R-PAC team all weekend. And so we thought, since you guys hadn't eaten, we'd bring you some of this amazing barbecue.
Look at that.
For you guys up here working your wonderful broadcast to have something to eat from Briley's.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much. My only question is, and we want to make sure we got to where
Look
we
at
can
that.
see this on here. Here
That
we
looks
go.
wonderful.
That looks like some brisket.
But the
burn-ins,
Pork,
maybe.
some brisket, pulled pork, mac and cheese, cornbread. We put a little barbecue sauce on here before I walked over here.
Wow.
I
But
actually
you
got an escort from the fire
but
department.
did you bring some for them?
See, I knew it. I knew
You
it.
knew it was coming. Here we go. We got.
Look at this.
A three. Hey.
Thank you so much.
I only had two hands, so you
No,
have
it's
to
okay.
share.
We can share.
Now, you know, they actually do this on the National Football League when they put games on Thanksgiving. They actually eat the turkey there. So
Oh.
are we going to take a
We'll
little
taste
bite
test?
here and actually
We
do
should.
this? I think we should, too. I think we should.
Is that a burn? Do you know if that's burn end there?
They are. They could be.
Okay, because that is like my favorite
Those
thing.
are
Well, if you
Okay.
don't stab it in a hurry, it's going to be
You know,
gone.
it's gonna
There
be-
wasn't
yeah.
much left
Do
when
not
I went to make
touch
the plates
my
up.
burn end.
Go on down to that one there,
Okay,
young
yeah,
man.
this one's-
I'm
that one's
going
mine
here.
right
So,
here.
Briley's Barbecue in Lake Forest Park. It looks good.
Oh my God!
It smells good.
It
And how
is
does
good.
It is good.
It is good.
Briley's Barbecue, thank you
Thank
very,
you very
very
much.
much. Shannon Rainey, thank you. I'm the one who said we had to actually eat this on here, so I guess I
There
better.
you go. It's amazing.
Oh,
That is fantastic.
And
Best
tender.
barbecue. It's tender. It's so good. Highly
Are
recommend.
they feeding you all weekend?
All weekend. All weekend long.
Well, we have another pit walk later, don't we?
Yeah,
Tomorrow,
noon.
I think. Yeah, so.
At noon tomorrow.
Come
We'll
find
have
me.
We will come find you. Shannon, this was awesome. Our J-boats are out on the water. Shannon, thank you.
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
Thank you very much.
for what you guys are doing. The guys on camera and off camera, you guys are doing a great job today. So thank you very much.
Briley's Barbecue, thank you. Up that way, up in Lake Forest Park, and thank you
Keeping
for
the
coming
flavor
all the
pack.
way up here. This is awesome.
Yep.
You guys ready to go down there? I
We're-
know Jamie's ready. You guys are all, everybody's chomping at the bit.
Yep. Jamie's ready. He's in there. He keeps walking out looking at the flags down there. They've been blowing pretty hard, but we're
They
keeping
are.
an eye on the weather. And you know, Mike Kelly came in and said that it wasn't great. It looks better now, but it's those gusts. We just, you know, it's scary to put the boats
Gotta
out
be
there.
careful.
stay
They
safe.
gotta be careful.
Gotta stay
Safety
safe.
first.
Yep, exactly.
Look at these little guys out there bouncing around.
And they're getting
awesome.
some air. Oh my
They're the
gosh!
best.
They are having fun. I'll let you go. Actually, we're going to step away and take a break. You are watching H1 Unlimited's coverage of the 2026 Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair. We are going to step away for Dustin Eccles, Brent Hall, and Shannon Rainey. And let's not forget Briley's Barbecue. We'll be back after the air show, hopefully with racing on Lake Washington.
I'm Jimmy Shane, and you're watching H1 Unlimited on YouTube.
H1 Unlimited Hydroplanes.
The world's fastest race boats.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow, really flying the boat. It doesn't get any better than that. They are going to be side by side. This is for the checkered flag.